up in the air. What he thinks about my mind and body. All the while I really can't blame you. We don't have a single thing in common. I left my patients back at 30th Street Station. I got 1,000 miles on my next life. Everybody think they own a piece of me. If you want a little taste, you can bite it. Said I'm on stage and you're thinking about other guys in front of me. I can see it in your eyes, baby girl, don't lie to me. He has the whole world and then some in the palm of his hand. I'm jealous. I'm trashy for a bitch with no credentials. Pretty boy said I was just a flash in the pan. I could take a flow if I can't take a man. I know how bad you wanna scream my name. They must be bugging if they don't know who I am.
The Royals, 2015 World Champions.
You find it worse to say you're not with me now. Wake up and find out it's just you. I left my patience back at Newark Penn Station. Yeah, I got 1,000 miles. I got dreams here with me. Do you feel it though? Wake up and find out it's not true. I'm laying on the tracks at Metro Park Station, and I'm waiting on you to come save my life. Everybody think they own a piece of me. If you want a little taste, you can buy it. I like his voice and the way he thinks about me. Then I go to sleep and wake up crying. Anyone said I was just a flash in the pan. I can take a flow if I can't take a man. I know how bad you wanna scream my name. They must be bugging if they don't know who I am. Anyone said I was just a flash in the pan. I can take a flow if I can't take a man. I know how bad you wanna scream my name. They must be bugging if they don't know who I am.
Welcome to our Kansas City Royals Central Only rebuild. This is going to be our third video in this series where our full attempt is going to be to build a team surrounding only Central players in the scouting and drafting process. In addition, we are allowed to sign free agents in the Central regions, as well as make trades for players in the Central regions, and to keep all of the players of the Kansas City Royals who are going to be our subject in this matter. The Royals are the perfect fit of being a Central team because they are located in Kansas City, Missouri, and they most recently won a World Series in 2015. Now, they are a competitive team this season and have a lot of potential to end up being competitive in the AL Central in the next several seasons. Now, the one thing is I don't necessarily know if that's going to translate very well in MLB The Show because I don't think the overalls of the players are as high as they would need to be for that to be like a consistent, they don't have a consistent roster in MLB The Show. And for anybody who's played the game, they know that in franchise, or if you've been watching my videos, you see a lot of guys in Kansas City who just end up becoming available. Everybody except for pretty much Bobby Witt. Well, because he's on a contract forever. For his whole career, he is going to be a Kansas City Royal. So with this team, they never really get to reach the peak that I think the roster has the potential of reaching. And that is going to be part of our job today, is trying to make this team actually meet that goal. Now, for lineup wise, this whole team is built around Bobby Witt, who is under contract forever. So we are going to not only do this rebuild where we're doing a Central only rebuild, but we're also going to do a career sim today with Bobby Witt, where because he's going to stay in Kansas City for his whole career, we want to see what we can end up doing and how great of a player he can end up being. Can we get him some MVPs? Can we get him some World Series? Which, of course, we can. Come on, guys. When do we not get a World Series win? So can we get him some MVPs? Can we get him some World Series? And can we get him into the Hall of Fame over his, hopefully, 20-year career that we end up having with him? The other interesting piece to this team, because right now you can see it's not a very good team in regards to overalls. There's a lot of interesting players that have a lot of skill sets. I mean, they play they still kind of play a small ball style of baseball, but we've got Vinny Pasquantino, the Pasquatch, who's a very interesting bat who I'd like to keep around. We are going to play him all season at first base. This is the first season he will be able to do that. We have some interesting players like MJ Melendez, who is a catcher secondary, but will be playing left field for us because we still have Salvador Perez. And in the pitching staff, we've got guys like Cole Reagans, who are a very interesting pitching prospect. I say prospect because he's only in year 2 and he's 26, but this guy is going to end up being a stud for us. We also have a converted reliever this season in Seth Lugo, but we're really going to have to build up this pitching staff. I also brought back Zach Greinke because he was available and the pitching is just not very good right now. And as we know from doing rebuilds, pitching matters more than anything. So developing a pitching staff is the most important aspect to developing a really good team. And so trading for pitchers in the Central region, signing players in the Central region, that's all important. I know that technically Greinke doesn't fit, but he's part of Kansas City. I feel like it'd just be, rude to not consider him there. So we did sign Zach Greinke back. But anyways, the other thing that is going to be really interesting about this team is their top pick from this last season, Jack Caglianone. I want to say that's how it is. The two-way player out of Florida who is going to end up developing pretty good if he develops the way he has in our previous rebuilds. Interesting pitcher, first baseman. It'll be nice to have a guy like this who can be our DH and almost locked in at that spot, actually, as a DH, as our starting pitcher. And it's cool because we will have 3 positions, or 2 at least, that are going to be locked up for pretty much the entire rebuild. I'd like it to say 3 with Pasquantino. Obviously, we need him to develop in order to make that work. And if Caglianone, which, by the way, I've looked up and I have not found an actual pronunciation, so I apologize if I'm butchering his name. But there is he's a very interesting prospect because he has power already. Even at age 21, he already is dealing with a good bat to work with, where I think at first base he could be a major league player right now, but it's the pitching that he needs to work on. And so we will have him in the minors working on his pitching. And we might bring him up early to be a reliever and DH, similar to what we often do with like Reggie Crawford, where he doesn't get used a lot. He's going to be buried in the bullpen, but he can still get some development because we really need to focus on that walks per 9 and hits per 9 and the training of him. So he's going to be just sitting in the bullpen the whole time. Bullpen sessions and pitching coach sessions the whole time. That was a horrible pronunciation. Pitching coach sessions the entire time to get that walks per 9 up, to get the hits per 9 up so that he can be a serviceable pitcher. If anything, he might just be a reliever, which I'd still be fine with. But because he is really one of our only like major prospects, obviously we have a lot of really good, cool catchers and stuff in this system. We have a lot to work for. We've got a lot to build up here. I think that there is some interesting prospects in Kansas City's system. However, the main thing that we need to focus on is building this team around the guys that we have. Bobby Witt, Pasquantino, even we've got guys like Michael Garcia, who could be very interesting, who is young, who's got an interesting bat. I've never really seen him develop to the level that I'd like, because he could end up just being a platoon bat, but he does have the contact and the defense that I really like to see out of a middle infielder. So with that in mind, this is the team we are going to be starting off with this season. We are going to be focusing all of our scouting on the central regions, which is that Texas, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Kansas, Oklahoma, what the MLB defines as it. I'm going to have to go through and just remind myself what all of them are before I make any trades or free agent signings. But because this is going to be a rebuild, which is probably going to go to 2040, we will probably move a little bit quicker than we have in previous rebuilds. I might show just draft results, not full drafts, because I feel like a lot of times now, after doing the San Francisco Giants rebuild, which was a little longer than I would have liked. I think it's also because it wasn't a very good, it just didn't end up being a very good team for us. But because of that and how long that video was, my focus a lot of this is going to be trying to move a little bit quicker because we already know what we're doing. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know we're scouting, we're developing, we're putting guys in training sessions, and we're just trying to win awards and win World Series with this team while keeping it together, because I love the idea of keeping a core together and making them really good and developing with one roster. And so to get into this, that's what we're going to do. I might show you the first draft, but then on, I think we're just going to show draft results from then on, just because I think it'll be faster, because if we're going to go to 2040, this is going to be a long one. So buckle in, grab something to eat, or if you're turning this on because it's 10 at night and you're just chilling, just chill, relax, and have a nice nap. All right. I will see you at the draft or at the trade deadline, depending on what we end up doing first. We are winning the AL Central at the moment, and so I want to make a move because the bats are bad, but the pitching is good. So we need to improve a little bit of our bats. And the one guy that I think would work really well for this is Jarred Kelenic, who is currently in the minor leagues for the Braves because they just have too many guys. So I'm going to make a move for Jarred Kelenic to try to add him to our team. And in return, we're going to give him 2 younger prospects and Kyle Wright, who is also sitting in the minors for our team, because they will value pitching better than we will right now. The one reason why is I'm looking at like Michael Lorenzen right now has a 1.76 ERA. He's actually taking the starting spot because like our pitching, Singer not so much, Reagan's not so much, but Lugo. Our pitching has been very, very good this year. Bats, not so much outside of Bobby Witt. So I need to add a bat. And we lost Aaron Blanco for the season. So Jarred Kelenic is going to come in. We're going to bring him in, and I'm going to play him. I don't think we've ever got Jarred Kelenic in a rebuild. And so this is a good one to try him out. I'm glad that I said I was going to show one draft, because if I was going to show any draft, it was going to be this one. We have pick 6, and the question is going to be what guy is going to be available for us at pick 6, because this draft is loaded with talent. At the very top, from Texas, Juan Shaquin, whatever, however you pronounce it, first baseman, catcher secondary, can play the outfield. He's a little short, but contact left, power left. It might just be a platoon bat, but the number 1 ranked guy is 100% going to be an absolute stud. I say platoon as if the rest of the stats aren't great, but will dominate lefties in the lineup. So amazing bat. This is the number 1 ranked guy from Texas, meaning he's available to us. The number 2 ranked guy, which is somebody who I don't see there's a world where we can't get him. Juan Velasquez is not a power bat. He's a contact bat, defense bat, second base mainly. Now we don't need that as much. He's a little further away, but very interesting player. This might not be like a first round pick for me. If he's there with the compensatory pick we have at pick 38, this is the guy I want. Starting pitcher, ranked 6th right here. There's also a closer who was ranked 3rd. I'm not drafting a closer in the first round. Antonio Sanchez, very, very good. 8th ranked, contact again, similar stats there, but third base, 5'9", a little short. But just, it's been pretty loaded. This draft is stacked, I think, from the top to the bottom. A lot of really, really good players. But the main thing is when I get lower in this draft, Hendricks Driver right here, potentially like a 2nd, 3rd round pick, all around pitcher. Alex Ramirez, really good contact bat, could be interesting if he's there in the 3rd. Nick Connolly, interesting there for the 3rd, 4th round as a contact defensive bat again. And then we have these guys who are not ranked, like Steven Cabrera, who is a balanced guy. We won't see him for years. Could end up just being a trade piece, but very interesting player. Drew Montez, another one, 84 to 89, pretty far away. Won't see him for years. Flyer, won't see him for years, but I like the utility. Zach Metcalf, I'm drafting this guy 100%. 92 to 97, even if we're trading him. This is a loaded draft. So I'm hoping that Chachin will fall to us, though I don't believe he will. And so Milt Hearn goes number 1. Obviously, we could not scout that guy. Number 2 to the Cincinnati Reds is Milo Ayers. Couldn't draft him, so that's another interesting one. Good guy off the board. Come on, Chachin, keep falling. Or Chachin, I need to just look it up. He goes to the Royals. Okay, so we won't be getting him. Now the question is, Bernie Norman is the guy I'm hoping that is still there, or Antonio Sanchez, preferably Bernie Norman. He's still there. I think we're going to take Bernie Norman here. just to draft a pitcher. I do want to show this reliever, by the way. Stud reliever. But I'm not taking a reliever with the 6th overall pick in the draft. So we're going to draft Bernie Norman to add another pitcher to the potential rotation. He's 18. He's a lefty. Very interesting. Please let Velasquez still be available. He is not. Okay, so I should have taken Velasquez, which means the problem with that is that now, okay, do I take pitcher because there's so many of them? Or do I go with one of the position players that are a little bit lower down the board? Just knowing, but like, okay, so Hendricks Driver is a higher ceiling player than a guy like Fernando Montoya. I guess technically not a higher ceiling, higher floor. But then you also have guys like Alex Ramirez, who would probably be more valuable to us, or Nick Connolly. I think what we should do here is I'm gonna leave Connolly to go. I think we're gonna try to stack up this pitching rotation a little bit. Not the reliever. Fernando Montoya 47 to 62. I think we're gonna go Larry. No, Larry Starr should still be available next. So we're gonna go Hendricks Driver. It's early to take him, but we're gonna take him. And then we have, this is pick 40 next. So do we go? We have pick 40 and pick 79. So I think I need to take Connolly. Yeah, let's take Connolly right now. And then hopefully Larry Starr is available. He is. Make my life easy. All right, we have 3 more picks, and I really need Metcalf and a couple of these other guys. Johnny Monroe, not as interesting. So I think what we're going to do is probably go Cabrera, Montez, and Metcalf. So I'm going to go Montez first because he is ranked on other people's boards. So there's a better chance for somebody else to take him. Okay. Then I guess that means... Oh, Steven Cabrera. I'm stupid. I thought somebody else disappeared. It was Monroe. That's fine. And Metcalf still on the board. That's an absolutely fantastic first draft. Actually, I guess we need to see it. So we will see the results, and hopefully this ends up being a fantastic draft. We really don't have any assets to trade for any more players. So if we need to go for it this season, it's not going to happen. We don't have anything. So I'm not going to make any moves at the deadline. And let's hope this is a really good draft for us. Let's talk a little bit about blue numbers, because wow, that's a lot of blue numbers. Now, obviously, we did not draft a whole lot of high schoolers. That was our benefit of our top pick, but the rest of them, not really high schoolers. But the sheer amount of high potential players that we found in this draft, when I said it was a stacked draft, even I couldn't really comprehend how stacked this ends up being. Bernie Norman, 88 potential, with already having 82 hits per 9. This guy is going to be an absolute stud. We're going to send him to the minors, progress his walks per 9, make sure he stops walking guys, but that's an amazing pitcher. Hendricks Driver's a little further away, which is funny because he's 23 and Bernie's 18. But I like his stats and the hits and the walks per 9. He's already got good stamina, good break. He's a breaking ball pitcher. That's fine for me. Interesting. Will end up being a good long-term pitcher to add to the rotation. Nick Connolly, good contact stats already. Good clutch. 88 potential. Might be a little bit till he gets there. He's 61. Generally, that means we won't see him for 3 to 4 years. So we won't see him until he's about 27. But interesting player there. Larry Starr is one of the worst guys. He was actually, to me, the safe pick. That's why I took him over somebody else. Was the safe pick. The lowest potential player is an 85 in this draft. So 85, he's already got good stats that we're working with. Drew Montez. Now, he's too far away, admittedly. This is a trade piece. He's 53 overall, 87 potential. He's too far away. He will never make it to the league with us. But that's even good to have a trade piece like that. Cabrera might, because he's 21, but also trade piece potential. Zach Metcalf will never make it to us, but 97 potential. So Another thing to note when you draft guys that have this high potential range, because that's generally what I'm drafting for, if they're too old, they won't make it. So it doesn't really matter. They won't make it to 97. He's not going to be a 97 overall catcher, because by the time he reaches even the league, he'll be like 30. And at that point, he's not going to progress to 97. So a lot of it is just trading those guys when we get the chance to. The one guy I want to see is Chachin, 90 potential. Yeah, absolute stud. This draft was stacked with talent. And then Velasquez, 94 potential. Ooh, I kind of wish I would have drafted him now. I thought he would have still been available. So Bernie Norman's a great pick. Obviously, we need pitchers more than anything. So I'll take it over Velasquez. But wow, Juan Velasquez is very good. And he's from Missouri. That was a closer that I liked too. I think he was gone by the time we drafted it with the compensatory pick. But oh my God, this draft is stacked. 84 and 78. We made the playoffs as a wild card team. We were winning the division for the majority of the season, but we went on a bit of a skid in the middle of the year, basically right after the trade deadline, which sucks because we didn't make any moves at the deadline, and it just kind of backfired for us. But hey, we ended up going, and thanks to basically looks like a sweep of the Braves to end the season, which is important because the Braves are a really good team. So sweeping the Braves, getting 2 out of 3 out of Washington gets us in, because 84 and 78 can't be very good. Yeah, because we're the 6th seed. And we get in by, 2 games. Not bad. So we didn't need to sweep the Braves, but sweeping the Braves is very, very helpful as we do make the playoffs as the 6th seed. I don't really have a lot of faith in that as a team, but you can see we had a bad August. We kind of had a bad July. We had a really, really good start to the season, but things started to kind of die down in the middle. We did the trade because we weren't having good hitting, and the hitting started to show up, and the pitching started to dissipate. We lost Zach Greinke for a little while, and that's important because Greinke put together a really good season. And we're gonna have Minnesota in this first round, so playing the division winner, Minnesota Twins in this, who only beat us by 4 games, but they were really good in the second half of the season. You can see they were a far more powerful offense than us, whereas our pitching staff kind of carried. So it's a very interesting season for us. No award winners. Let's go check the award winners, though. But Salvi does come second. I did see this. He was doing, like, insane season from Salvador Perez. 46 home runs out of the catcher position is crazy. But Jordan wins the MVP with 45 home runs, hitting .324. On the NL side, it's Shohei, as usual. Though Marcell Ozuna with that 54 home runs, I mean, it's always one of these two guys, pretty much, or Mookie in the NL side. For Cy Young, we have Jacob deGrom winning the Cy Young over here, and Tyler Glass now winning it on the NL side. Batting title, William Contreras, and Stephen Kwan with Bobby Witt coming in second. So still a great season from Bobby Witt. Hunter Harvey third in the reliever of the year. So we had a really good year from our team across the board. Salvador Perez getting the home run crown. Bobby Witt with the most triples. Bobby Witt with the most WAR. That's a very valuable stat to have. I love to see it. So Bobby Witt leads the league in WAR this season. I clicked the wrong button. And comes second in batting average. So that's a really good season for us. And 187 hits. Luis Renifo getting 200 hits. Generally never seen that. That's an interesting, I guess maybe he played DH for them this year. I guess playing 162 games will do that for you. But yeah. And as we said, Salvador Perez leading the league in home runs this year. So honestly, we put together a pretty good season. Taking a look at our pitching rotation, I'm going to probably have to go down because they sent down Bubic. 4.44, nothing crazy. He was in the bullpen all year, but not that bad from him. I think I brought up Alec Marsh at the back end, and he was pretty decent in the end of the season because he dominated AAA. He was at like a 2 ERA all season. Just phenomenal season from him. I think Stratton was up 3.86, still pretty good bullpen arm for us there. Was Zerpa up? No. I think that's it. Okay, so at our major league level, Lorenzen 2.90, 1.18 whip. I did start him a little bit when Greinke went down, but amazing bullpen season from Michael Lorenzen. 14 wins, 18 losses. I know that doesn't really matter too much, but 2.9 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. Looks like our defense must have really, really helped if you consider this. So I know we have a really, really good defensive team. But yeah, fielding independent, 4.25. So it's basically what he did last year, but the difference is our defense is phenomenal. So we were able to really stop this. We really do have a defensively built team, which I think is kind of cool because I don't think I've ever built a team like that. Urseg, not very good. Hernandez was never up. Will Smith in his age 34 season, very good. Lynch never was up. Schreiber, only 17 innings, but not that good. MacArthur was very good in the 5 innings. But amazing season from Hunter Harvey. Zach Greinke, 3.5 ERA, 93 strikeouts. That's a great season from him. Also defensive built, but because if you consider his FIP, it actually wasn't that bad. Yeah, Seth Lugo, 3.04, 1.17 WHIP. Great season from him. Singer was good. Waka was good. Cole Reagans was our worst pitcher this season. 1.46 WHIP. He had a bad year. But I do think that he's a guy who could end up being better, and I'm wondering if I give him an extension this offseason coming off a bad year, he might be cheaper, because I do expect him to end up being a better player. Well, they send anybody down. Drew Waters, who was basically a defensive replacement because I just don't have anybody. Renfroe was horrible. So how much do we've got 2 years of Hunter Renfroe? Yikes. Yeah, he was really, really bad this year. Not an interesting player to have up at the majors right now. Frazier, meh. Isbell, I'm big fan of Kyle Isbell. Defense, amazing. And against lefties, he's really good. Fantastic for a good platoon bat because he's so good defensively. And that contact is good. Hitting 283, 327 on base percentage. Fermin is a great backup catcher. Velasquez never played. Hampson, meh. We moved him down to the lineup. Kelenic, 283, 13 home runs. Not all that was for us. He did bat better when he was with Atlanta, but I'll take it. Honestly, he's 24 years old. We'll give him an extension when we need to give him an extension, but he's gonna be in the outfield for us. Salvi putting together his second best season. Yeah. But I guess it's also he did play less games. Maybe this is his best season. What do they say by WAR? Because he's not really a WAR guy. Like Salvador Perez is a guy who is a borderline, like, could he be a Hall of Famer? Maybe, if you wanted to give him a lot of credit for stuff. But he's also never really acquired a lot of WAR. 34 WAR at the catcher position. But yeah, this is considered his second best season. But hey, we'll take it. I mean, 46 home runs, 119 RBIs. This just looks like the 2021 season if he played less games. Bobby Witt, 25 home runs, 48 doubles, 324 average, 389 on base, 187 hits. Yeah, 8.3 WAR, led the league in WAR. And I hope he can improve a little bit defensively too, because I would love to see him get gold gloves as well, because right now he just got a silver slugger. Garcia, not that great. Pasquantino, very, very good. This is a nice first baseman to have. You know, I want a little more power from him, but 152 hits is great. And defensively, he's a very good first baseman defensively. Doesn't really look like it based on the 58 fielding rating, but he does actually play pretty good defense at first. Massey was really, really bad in the beginning of the year, but ended up playing better when I brought him back up in September. So he was hitting 170, and I sent him down, and then in September we brought him back up, and he hit 220 in basically a month. So that means he was probably hitting around 280 for the last month. Very, very good. MJ Melendez, it's all right. I'll take it. I want better, but he's 25. And then Paul DeYoung, pretty good as well. So last year, he's not going to come back. But still, very, very interesting. Good season. 20 home runs from Paul DeYoung feels like a lot. I don't think we're going to make any changes. I think we're just going to go right into it here against Minnesota, who I don't really think that we have a good shot here. I am going to go Lugo and then Greinke, Singer. We're going to let Reagans be the last guy because I kind of don't want Reagans to pitch because he's been bad this year. So we are going to give Seth Lugo the start in game 1 against Pablo Lopez. We do win that one 6-4. Game 2, Zach Greinke versus Joe Ryan. We lose that one 3-5. Lorenzen blows that one. I want to see when did he do it in the 5th. So Greinke must have given up some of the. Greinke gave up 3 of those. So okay, that's Greinke. And then Brady Singer versus Bailey Ober in Game 3 is a 0-10. Sorry, can't read. 0-10 loss. We get blown out there. How does the rest of the postseason go? The Twins defeat the Cardinals in the 2024 World Series, so we lost to the eventual World Series winner. So let's just take a look quick at the awards. Ryan Jeffers wins the World Series MVP and the postseason MVP, and Nolan Gorman wins the National League postseason MVP. But hey, we made a playoff race in the first season on a pretty interesting wild card run, and we've got cash to spend, and I think we've got some core pieces that are really interesting. With Bobby Witt, Pasquantino, if Salvi's still playing this good, that's amazing. So we can still compete. I like the pitching staff. Let's see if we can add around the edges. When it came to the year 1 free agency, we were really limited. There actually wasn't as many players as I would have generally liked to have been able to sign in the central area. And I made some offers, but I also lowballed because I don't think that it matters too much to sign guys right now. We're still far away. We kind of outperformed last year in order to be able to make that playoff run. And maybe we will do it again, but there just isn't a lot of players. And so one of the things that we need to do is just kind of acquire assets, acquire talent in the draft, in trades, just because I need to be able to move those guys for future pieces. And we can hope that other guys will show up being available. So in the pitching rotation, we made one move. That was getting Craig Kimbrell to be our closer for the next 2 seasons. I figured that it wouldn't be a bad idea. He's technically from the Central region, with Alabama considered Central. We gave him a team option just in case he's not good. Or even if he is. If he regresses to a point where he's like a 76 or so, then I'm pretty sure we can not take the team option and lowball him next season to be our closer. So that's really the only signing we did. I think the main thing is last season we made one large move, and that was to get Jared Kelenic. And because of that, that's pretty much all we have. I did get Taron Vavra off of the Rule 5, but like I'm telling you, there's just was not a lot of guys to choose from. So we're going to run it back with this team this year. I have 25. Maybe I claimed a waiver on somebody and I forgot who it was already. I don't think I did. But so with this team here, let's just do this. Okay, I did not. So with this team, I think the main thing that we need to just consider is just trying to stay competitive this year while we build up talent. Because Salvi kind of ruined my plans, honestly. Like I was hoping to ride him into the sunset, and then we could go Fermin and Mitchell. But Mitchell's going to have to stay in AAA because Salvi just put together his second best season of his career. So this upcoming season, we're just going to try to run it back with the same team pretty much and see what we can do with it. I'm hoping that we can stay competitive despite not really having a lot of star players outside of Bobby Witt. We aren't really competitive, and so I know we brought in Kimbrell to, be our closer, but honestly, it doesn't really hurt us that badly that we're going to be able to move him at the deadline. He hasn't been that great, but we're not going to compete this season. So we're going to give him to the Phillies, and we're going to get Taijuan Walker, which is kind of a salary dump. It's not necessarily a great deal for us, but it's going to allow me to, I might flip Taijuan for something else. And so since we are selling, Michael Wacha's in the last year of his deal. He has 1 year left. This is the last year for him. 3.26 ERA. He's been very, very good this season. He's 7-6, but like I said, we're not competing. And now we have Taijuan, and I'm going to keep moving some spots. So we're going to trade him to the Diamondbacks, who are in need of a pitcher. We're going to get Alex Ramirez and Slade Caldwell, 2 prospects that I think can help at least bolster our farm system. And then Hunter Renfroe's putting together a pretty good season in the last year of his deal. So we're going to put, I know it's a pretty small sample size, but we're going to put him with Taijuan Walker. I'm not going to keep Taijuan. I just don't really see a lot of value in it. We're going to trade him to the A's, who are actually quite competitive this year. And we're just going to get 2 prospects that are pretty far away in Tommy White and Will Klein. So sadly, it looks like I missed on the first pick, which, I mean, we drafted a pure speed center fielder, and he in his range was 73 to 90, like 94. So, or no, 88. What am I saying? 73 to 88. I was thinking of Rufus Graham. 73 to 88. So, you know, you would assume to be at the top end, but this is fine, I guess. It's not great for the top pick, but I think we kind of make up for it with Freddie Calderon being a 91 potential, Rufus Graham being a 92 potential, and Chester Ryder being an 87 potential. So we didn't really miss that badly on the rest of these picks. And I think we had pick 19 in this draft, so we weren't really put in a position to get the top guys that I wanted. Todd Nunez was number 2 on my board, I want to say. He went to the Astros. And then, oh, wow, who was that guy? That's crazy. The other one, this was a closer, once again, who I thought was good, but I don't want to take a closer in the first round. We need to get ourselves a compensatory first round pick, I think, so that we can get ourselves a closer, because otherwise I don't really feel confident taking one. This was the catcher that I liked that was on the top of the board. He was gone by the time we picked. There is also Ian Nixon was my favorite player on the board. He was gone before we picked. He went 3 picks before us, and 90 potential. Yeah, he fits. Would have been a major leaguer the instant that we got him. And then I think there was one other guy that I liked near the top that I wasn't able to get. Like, basically, we took the best guy on the board that we had. It was either Fishman or Calderon, and Calderon was actually our top guy on the board. But I thought we could wait. We did. We got him in the second. I would have been really upset if I didn't get him. That would have really kind of ruined this. But not that bad of a draft. We are not going to make the playoffs this year. You already saw me trade pretty much the team away and all the veterans because just the bats have not been good this year. We kind of made the playoffs off a really good push from Pasquantino, Bobby Witt, Salvi Perez, all that last year, and amazing pitching. That's not there this year. We've had some of the amazing pitching still, but the bats have not been there this year. We have not gotten the crazy season out of Salvi again. So I don't really think that we have much of a shot. And I'm not that mad at it either. We need to build this team up, so we need some picks. So 79 and 83 makes it look like we were much better than we were all season. But I'm going to be honest, this last month almost tanked our ability to get a really, really high pick, which I'm not that happy about it because we just started dominating at the end of the season. Right here, I mean, basically from this Dodgers series on, you could, you know, even include a little bit up here if you wanted to, but from this Dodgers series on, we didn't lose a single playoff series until these last 2 series, or I guess last 3. You know, we just went on a big run in August and September to get ourselves close to the playoffs, but we weren't there, which puts us, I think, only like 2 games out or something like that. No, 7 games out. But I think if it was in NL, because I believe, oh no, NL was even better. So maybe I was a little overreacting. There was a little bit more of a spread in the league this year because the Braves won 110 games and Orioles 102. So basically, yeah, harder odds for us to get a top pick. But I think that it's fine where we are at. Taking a look at awards, Gunnar Henderson wins the MVP on the Orioles with 47 home runs. On the NL side, it's Marcell Ozuna, as expected, per usual. 56 home runs from Ozuna to get that MVP. Oh, Cy Youngs go to Shane Bieber and Spencer Strider. Batting titles, Shohei Ohtani and Edouard Julien. So, did we help anybody? Did we give? It does not look like it. Okay, so taking a look at league leaders, Edouard Julien 336 at the top end of the AL, and on the NL side it was Shohei with 329. Hits, only 200 hit guy was Shohei. And home runs, Ozuna 56, Gunnar 47. As you can see, we didn't have anybody up here, but Salvi and Bobby did hit over 30, which we'll take from them. So let's go take a look at the roster and how we actually did here. First off, they sent anybody down. Doesn't look like it. So, in the bullpen, Brady Singer, I moved him to the bullpen. He was at an 8 ERA by the second month of the season, so we just moved him to the bullpen. He just stayed there for the rest of the year. Urseg was bad. I think I probably just won't renew his contract. I'll probably just let him walk because he's just not good. He's just not worth having on the team because that walks per nine is so bad. MacArthur, 331, pretty good. Zerpa, 428. Man, that's a bad whip. 327 for Hernandez, which is pretty good. 379, which is meh for Schreiber. And a very good relieving season for Hunter Harvey, who I gave a contract extension to 2030, though his rating did go down. So it's a little disappointing. Cole Reagans, who I was able to sign an extension to in the beginning of the offseason. I didn't mention that we signed him to 2032. He had a very good season for us here. 17-12, had 188 strikeouts, 305 ERA, 121 whip. What is his FIP at? 366. So, I mean, the defense didn't really bring as much value this season. Seth Lugo, another good season. Good season from Daniel Lynch. Bubic was not very good. We brought him up after making all those trades, and Marsh wasn't that good either. So we will need to probably make some moves to the back end of our rotation, though I'll say we can't look at the AAA stats for Bernie Norman. He was at like a low 3 all season, sitting in AAA. And Jack got up to, I think, like in the low 3s, but he was in AA for most of the season. I'm going to give him a little bit more time. These 3 guys are probably ready to come up, but I don't want to waste their options and all that and bringing them up too early. So we'll see what the options are for pitching this upcoming season. When it comes to lineups, let's go back up to the MLB. Well, first off, they sent Michael Massey down, whose potential went down to C rating. I don't like to see that. 238, 288 on base percentage, not very good. Yeah, kind of a mediocre season. How was his WAR at? 1. Yeah, not really worth that much for us. Drew Waters was just kind of up in September. I think actually I brought him up earlier than that, but negative WAR because he just can't hit. And then I think that's it for these guys. I did also note Blake Mitchell's potential also went down to a B, so that is going to hurt us a little bit in the long term at the catcher position. On the MLB level, MJ Melendez was very, very bad. He lost his spot in the lineup right away. Fermin wasn't really that good. Blanco was not really that good. Velasquez, not really that good. Michael Garcia was pretty good this season. We should probably sign him to an extension, but I'm a little scared about it still. Got to go glove this year as a really, really good defensive player. So maybe we will just sign him to an extension because of the defense. Nick Pratto, B potential now. Very, very good season for him. We moved him to the DH spot because he was just batting really, really well. We'll come back to those two. Pasquantino, 242, 22 home runs, 22 doubles as the power starts to develop a little bit. Not a great season from him. 0.6 WAR, definitely a downgrade from last year, and part of the reason why we didn't do as well. Vavra was very good for a Rule 5 pickup. I'm glad to have him on the team because we are going to keep him around. He might be better than Massey, so we might move off of Massey because Vavra ends up, taking that spot. And the one that hurts me is Jared Kelenic, because his potential went down. All of his ratings went down. He had 242, 327 on base. Just like basically put up the stats he did last year in twice the amount of games. Was pretty much a mediocre WAR player after these 2 seasons. I mean, I guess I should have known that this K rate was really, really low for him, but yeah. Because we signed him to an extension. So that's going to hurt. We're going to have to see what we can do. We might have to try to flip off of him at some point whenever we get... If he's got a good run, I might trade him. Isbell, meh. Still a really good defensive player, so we'll take it. So let's sim the rest of the postseason because we are not a contender this year. Yes. Oh, you know what I didn't look at? Now I feel bad because I went past them. Let's look at their actual stats. Salvi, 129 games this year, 28 doubles, 32 home runs, 285 average, 324 on base. So another really good season from him. Still 4.4 WAR. He will stay as our catcher. He's gonna keep that spot because I haven't seen enough from Fermin, and with Blake Mitchell's potential going down, I don't think we have a lot of urgency to bring him up yet. And then Bobby. 158 games he played, a little bit less hits, got on base a little bit less than he did last year, but a little bit more power. on the bat. We'll take it. Still 26 stolen bases, so the speed's going down. But another 11 triple season from him. He's very, very consistent. Not as good as he was last year, but still, I think he's 24, and he's got a long way to go yet before we end up seeing his true peak. So I'll be curious what that ends up looking like once we get there. I just simmed that, but yeah, the Padres defeat the Rangers in the 2025 World Series. That's an interesting World Series winner. Jesse Winker wins World Series MVP. Jonah Heim gets postseason MVP on this side, and Luis Arias gets postseason MVP on this side. And so your 2025 World Series World Series winner is the San Diego Padres. We are going to go into 2026 with the goal of adjusting and fixing the back end of our pitching rotation, and then maybe moving off of some contracts and just kind of refining this lineup a little bit, because I do think that we need to keep some space for those pitchers to come up, and I don't like our prospects. I don't think any of them are ready yet. And so the move we're going to make to get rid of Massey is we're going to give him to the Mariners for Tate Hatfield, that closer that I was considering drafting, because I don't think we're going to keep Massey, especially with Vavra now at the backup second baseman. Doesn't really have a lot of room. Now, I'll admit, it's been a little bit. What happened is I lost the save file, actually, for this. It took me a little bit to kind of recover it. I had to go back several years into one of the autosave files. So mind me if I'm a little rusty when it comes to this. I've obviously taken a slight break in between the previous seasons, and I don't necessarily remember the roster too much. But I think we're in a position in this rebuild where the guys that I want in free agency have just not really been there. And it's kind of limited us. We've had the whole idea of going after all these guys in the Central, but each season, as we looking again here, just there hasn't really been many free agents around. So we're just kind of rolling with a pretty simple roster here. We've got pretty much the same bullpen, pretty much the same rotation, and the lineup wise, I think the only real addition here is Brett Beatty, which isn't really much to say. He's not that good. We just need a third baseman. And I guess Josh Bell as well, though Josh Bell is kind of more a utility bat than anything. So yeah, I think the big struggle is actually that our big move, Jared Kelenic, his potential's gone down. And now it feels like, okay, we signed him to a long-term deal because he was a B potential player that looked super interesting. Now he's a C potential player. He doesn't look as good. And this has happened for a couple guys. I mean, Blake Mitchell, the catcher prospect, also was originally an A potential catcher. Now he's a B potential guy. And it hasn't looked very good for a lot of our development right now for our players. I'm hoping that Bernie Norman can come up soon. Cadruna, Caglianone. These guys are really going to be what changes things, I think. As we're probably going to have a really, really good pitching rotation with a weak lineup. And so as we go into this season, I guess we try to contend again for a wild card spot, but I don't think that we really have anything crazy. This could be a year that we sell off players, really. I don't like wasting years of Bobby Witt, because he's MVP caliber. He could get one this year, and I'd love to see it, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to really put a good team around him when our guys just aren't developing the way they need to. So yeah, we'll see at the draft, or if we start trading guys away, because I'll be honest, it's just not looking very good right now in regards to this team build, and it's gonna take a little bit longer than we would have liked. With the team struggling, and honestly, me just not having a lot of patience for a team that is kind of middle of the pack right now, in bad pitching. You know what? I think it's time for Bernie Norman. We're going to bring him up. So he's pitching really, really well right now in the AAA. 7 games, 1.55 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. He's only given up 9 runs in those 7 games. I'm taking it. He's coming up to the majors right now. He's going to move right into the starting rotation. We're going to move Chris Paddock to the bullpen for now. Just kind of hopefully revive him. I did realize, like I said, it's been a little while since I've looked at this roster, that he was a free agent signing that we made this offseason, knowing that a lot of those Twins pitchers end up performing really, really well in this roster. I was hoping that we could get him. I think we got him for pretty cheap, which is a really, really nice deal to have. But he has not started off very good this season. We're going to move him to the bullpen to start off. There's a very good chance that if we cannot put this together, we will probably sell off Seth Lugo at some point. And while, I don't want to sell off Brady Singer, I don't want to sell off Daniel Lynch. Cole Reagans is here to stay. It might have to go that way. We might do a complete switch of this pitching rotation along with the lineup if need be. We do have a lot of prospects coming, so it's not like we're in a bad position. Like, this could end up being really, really good for us if we sell these guys off for the right price. And so I talked about trading off Seth Lugo. I think we're going to do it. I'm just not really feeling too patient with him, and I just kind of feel like I'm going to move another guy up. I like our guys, so I think we're gonna move somebody else up, and Lugo's gonna be the guy who goes out just because he's on the last year of his deal. Might as well trade him away rather than try to hold on to him. We're gonna get Josh Smith and Justin Foscue from the Rangers in this deal. Both of them are kind of not really playing for them, and not really well known. The Rangers have Juan Soto. This is a very stacked team who's a very competitive team who could possibly win the World Series this year. So let's just try to help them do that. Well, right now the team's coming together. We're actually playing really, really well. We might actually win the division right now. So we're going to buy. Brett Rooker is available. He's from Tennessee. He fits. The A's are the worst in their division. So we're going to trade away some good prospects here. We're going to get rid of Shields. Not necessarily the best, but he's already a decent pitcher. The big one is going to be Zach Metcalf, who's an A potential catcher. And then another pretty good player in a B potential, Max Saccone, down here on third base. We're going to get Brett Rooker in return. I think that'll be a good pickup for a possible contending window here right now. Interestingly enough, this is one of the more back-ended drafts I've ever had here, where I feel like we underperformed on the top half, but did really, really well at the back half of this draft. I mean, it's still greens and blues, so you really can't complain. But Peter Palma, only 79 potential, not that great. Billy Lozano, not that bad. I mean, these are 18-year-olds, so I'll take it. They're young. They have an interesting level of potential where you're like, okay, it might be a while till he's good, but still, pretty good. A reliever at a 79 potential is great. Dwayne Elam, kind of disappointing, but whatever. But the back end here, Polito, a power bat. I know he's 23, so that's a whole interesting dynamic, but a power bat with 88 potential. And then the last two, another really low overalls, but they're 18 years old, and Derek Benjamin and Richie Ellis, 89 and 91 potential respectively. There really was no great central guys available for me to draft. I think besides that one, and I didn't have him fully scouted. That hurts. Okay. So apparently one, Mitch Coleman to the Braves. I said that, and then I just hurt myself the instant I finished saying it. I'm kind of mad at myself. Why did I say that? And just like that, 86 and 76, we win our division. That is actually pretty good, considering that we were thinking that we might be a wild card team going into the season. I will take 86 and 76. We will be taking on the Guardians, so we're playing our division rival in the first round. That means they are the lowest of the wild cards. And yeah, I think they were probably right with us. 86 and 84 and 78. They lost 6 in a row. Okay, so that was a lot closer than it should have been. Looks like we really helped the Rangers out too. So let's take a look at awards first, because I do see that we have one. That's a batting title for Bobby Witt Jr. That's what we'd like to see. Juan Soto does win the MVP over here on the AL side. On the NL side, it's Rhys Hoskins. Wow. 41 home runs, 176 hits. He beats out Shohei. Cy Young goes to Tariq Skubal. And Tyler Glasnow on the NL side. Bobby Witt, 346. That's very good. Batting title for him. Batting title goes to Christian Yelich on the other side. So let's take a look at some league leaders. WAR for pitchers goes to Cole Reagans. And doubles, triples, batting average, hits, slugging percentage, all for Bobby Witt. He hits 346. with 216 hits on the season, 61 doubles, 16 triples. Wow, Salvi, 46 home runs as well. We'll have to actually go through. I just want to check here if he also led in WAR for batters. Yeah, we did. So we had the best hitter in the league and the best pitcher in the league. No Cy Young for Reagans, obviously, but best WAR for a pitcher. We'll take it. I mean, that's a really, really good season. You can kind of see why we were there. I think we had the top end talent. It's just more of filling out the rest of this lineup. So first, let's go see who they all sent down. I think it's a lot of this bullpen. Yeah, I did see Kyle Finnegan struggled a lot this year. We have one more year on him. I do have an option. We're not going to take it. That was really, really bad for him. So he'll be gone next season. I did bring up Asa Lacy at one point, but he did really, really bad. He was like at like a 2-something on in AAA, and he stayed at like a 2-something in the AAA. Just when he came up to the majors, just really, really struggled. Kind of is one of the reasons why we started to slip a little bit. So taking a look at our actual rotation, or bullpen first, Daniel Lynch, 4.55. I started him in the beginning of the year, moved him to the bullpen after we moved off of Seth Lugo. I think he was a pretty good bullpen arm. Kind of like this as our sixth guy in the rotation. MacArthur was good. Zerpa was good. Hernandez was a little rough, honestly, but I'll take 392. That's all right. Klein was good in the little bit of appearances he had. 354 for Schreiber. And Hunter Harvey, very, very good closer for us this year. Sadly, his potential goes down. I don't like to see that because 48 saves and we have him locked up long term. Even though he put together another really good year here, I don't know why we're having so many guys whose potentials are dropping. Looking at the rotation, Cole Reagans, 87 overall now. 347 ERA, 176 strikeouts, and led the league in WAR. So very, very good pitcher for him. Chris Paddock put it together in the second half of the season. I brought up Ben Kadruna as our one of our prospects. Thought he would be interesting to come up. Brady Singer put it together, 372 by the end. And Bertie Norman, honestly, was, 417 is not great, but I'll take it. He started out the season really, really good. 2 WAR pitcher. And I signed him long term. I loved so much of what I saw from him that I signed him long term because he's going to be here. And I'd rather pay him the $8 million than eventually have to pay him 20 when he ends up being a stud, because he's really good. He is a good prospect, and I like to see what we got out of him. Let's take a look at who they all sent down for lineups. Looks like Foscue got sent down, but he hit well and his potential went up this season. Just on base percentage wasn't that good. Velasquez was pretty bad when he was up, so I had sent him down. Schumann, honestly not that bad when he came up. But yeah, and Vavra was rough this year. Great pickup last year, rough for us this year. So, not what you like to see too much. Melendez was pretty bad this year. Bell was just not that productive for us this year. Not what I wanted to see. Still got on base a lot, but I just want more hits. If I bring you in, that's your job. Freddie Fermin, still good backup catcher. He's going to get a little expensive here soon. So there's a good chance we might trade him. And the only reason I say that is because Salvi's still kicking, dude. Josh Smith, brought him in. He was doing really well with Texas. Kind of slipped there at that second half of the season. Not really happy that I made that move at this point. But decent utility off the bench. Drew Waters, yuck. All right, lineup-wise. Brent Rooker, 245, needs to get on base a little bit more. 329 is still fine, but needs to get on base more. I'll take 36 home runs and the 33 doubles, though. That's a power bat for us. Assigned him to an extension as soon as we traded for him. Figured that was not going to be that bad of a deal. Kalanick, he hit well. 39 doubles. I'm just so disappointed by the potential going down. Do we trade him away? I don't know. Right now, he's too good to trade away. We really need to get some moves to be made to actually improve this team. We'll come back to Bobby. Pasquantino, wanted to see a little bit more growth from him. Still was looking for this 2024 season. He didn't have it, but 23 home runs isn't that bad. Brett Beatty was a good pickup for us this offseason. 121 hits, 23 doubles. He got on base a decent amount. I like to see it. Was a positive WAR player. That's what we're looking for. I did see Prado's potential went down, which sucks because Prado was one of the interesting guys that I thought would be a pretty interesting prospect for us, and I don't like to see that potential go down. But he still played well, so you can't be too mad. Michael Garcia, pretty good contact bat for us still. Want to see a little bit more. I need him to continue to get better against righties because it's been pretty bad against righties. And Isbell was rough this year. I think going into the postseason, we're going to have to switch some stuff out here. Maybe put Rooker in the outfield, and I don't like that defensively. But Isbell's also too good defensively. So I might just leave Isbell in. Or maybe we go Waters against righties and Isbell against lefties. I don't really know. It's just kind of it's gonna be a little weird off season or postseason here for us. So, lineup. Let's go to the big two. Salvi once again. What is this guy? Why is he performing as well as he is right now? 46 home runs again for Salvador Perez. Just continuing to turn back the clock, hitting for 317. This is the best he's ever hit since 2011 when he wasn't a primary catcher, and 994, almost 1,000 OPS, a 7.6 WAR season out of him at the catcher position. That is also a Silver Slugger here in 2026. You love to see it. Salvi is making himself a Hall of Famer with this. 370 home runs from the catcher position. That's like one of the best ever. I don't know if MLBTheShow is going to give it to him once he ends up retiring, but I think this is a Hall of Fame career. When you talk about just the amount of power he has hit for just look at what we got since we got him. His contract's up. I didn't sign him ahead of time because I know that these contract extensions are a little expensive for older players, and I know I can sign him in free agency for longer, so don't worry about him being a free agent. We are bringing him back. He is the franchise catcher. Doesn't matter. Until he retires, he will be in Kansas City. And the last one is our stud, Bobby Witt. 216 hits, 37 home runs, 16 triples, 61 doubles, over 400 on base, over 1,000 OPS, 11.7 WAR. I mean, yeah, he's a stud. He truly is a stud. Wins a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger this offseason, plus the batting title. So the question is, what can we get out of him in the playoffs as we make our run here? Because he put together his season. We talked about it. He's going to put together some great seasons. Let's see what we can do to help him. So the Guardians are on the slides. The hope is that we can kind of keep this momentum up. We're going to go Cole Ragans, who is one of the best pitchers in the AL this season, against Braxton Garrett in Game 1. That is a 2-5 loss. Looks like Ragans got lit up a little bit. All right, we're going to have to come back here. Paddock and Kadruna. I'm gonna make this pitching switch right now. We're going to go Singer in that spot instead of Kadruna. Paddock versus Braxton Garrett in Game 2. 3-2 victory. Looks like we win that one in the 8th. We pretty much won the game in the first inning, thanks to what it looks like a 2 RBIs out of Bobby Witt. So probably 2 RBIs in the first inning. We will take it. Going into the last game, Brady Singer versus Ranger Suarez. We win that one 5-0. We are going to be taking on Baltimore. We will start with Bernie Norman on the mound. I think I'm going to let Kadruna go in Game 2. Actually, this is a 5-game series. I don't think we can afford that. So never mind. We are going to go. We're gonna do this. Kadruna is not going to go in a 5-game series. We will let him go in a 7-game series, but not in a 5-game. So Bernie Norman in Game 1 versus Grayson Rodriguez. That is an 0-4 loss. Bernie gets lit up. Can Ragans make it up against Bradish? No. Just not a lot of offense in this game. Not a lot of offense so far in this series. Only 1 run. Going into Game 3, this is do or die. Chris Paddock versus Trevor Rogers. We do win this one, getting 5 runs. Chris Paddock playing amazing so far in the postseason. Can Brady Singer continue this? Game 4, we win that one, this is a big one, a closeout game. Do I let Kadruna pitch or do we go back to the top? You know what? I don't think that Paddock's ready. Reagans hasn't pitched the greatest. Norman hasn't pitched the greatest. We're just going to let Kadruna go. And we lose that one 2-4. Looks like that run, all the runs came from Kadruna. Yeah, that's a tough way to lose. But as we sim the rest of the postseason, looks like the Dodgers defeat the Orioles in the 2026 World Series. Your World Series MVP is Spencer Horwitz, and Adley Rutschman gets postseason MVP on the AL side. So this offseason, I think we're going to have to rework our bullpen, just knowing our guys are old. I actually really like the pitchers, and I'm starting to like the lineup a little bit. They really perform pretty well. So we'll see what's available in free agency this offseason. But I don't think that this team's actually that far off now. I'm pretty confident that we put together a pretty good team, especially after the Brent Rooker trade. So we'll see you at the beginning of next season with hopefully a contending team to work with. Once again, we're still kind of in a position where there's not actually a lot of free agents available that are central guys, but I did find 2 on the Rays, and they're in need of a catcher. So I think we're going to get rid of Freddie Fermin. I think it's time. We're keeping Salvi. I think Blake Mitchell will come up instead to be our backup catcher. So we're going to get Darren Morton and Michael Kopech. Neither of them have been great necessarily. I mean, Morton's okay. He's a minor leaguer. But Kopech hasn't necessarily been great. But we do need to improve our bullpen anyways. So I'm not that mad about doing it. And Velasquez, I wasn't going to keep. So if they want him, they can have him. And I think I'm also just going to give up on Alec Marsh right now. He's just kind of underperformed for the last several seasons. And while he was good in 2024 in that limited amount of time we saw him, I have enough pitchers. I have enough pitchers. We're going to try to see if we can get some value. So I'm just going to get some prospects from the Cardinals and, give them Alec Marsh, who will probably pitch for them, honestly, because of how bad their rotation is. The last one I'm going to get rid of is Daniel Lynch. I don't really feel like bringing him back. I'm going to get another reliever off the Diamondbacks in return in Andrew Saalfrank. I'm going to overpay a little bit because I wasn't going to bring back Lynch, but I am going to pitch with Saalfrank, so why not? Going into 2027, after winning the division, making a decent playoff run actually last season, I think the main thing I wanted to do this season was kind of supplement this team and get everybody ready. So we're moving. I think we're starting to get an actual roster built out here. For the pitching rotation, we made several moves, but I am not going to bring up Jack just yet. I think there's a chance that I will if I don't like one of these relievers. I generally like to have 6 starters. This is not going to work this season to start off. So we're just going to kind of go with Kopech here. I think that's probably the best case. I mean, technically, he should probably be lower. And we can go with Saalfrank because Saalfrank is the worst in the clutch. Maybe Saalfrank and Hernandez there, and we'll figure it out after that. So one of these guys will probably come down at some point, and Jack will come up. But one of the reasons I don't want to move Jack up just yet, and I don't want Asa Lacy up, because I just kind of want to see, I want Asa to just get a little bit better, is because I did make a signing actually in free agency this season, and that was Dalton Varsho. He was pretty cheap. Cost me, $21 million for 3 years, but I also got the team option on it. Could have got him cheaper, and that allows me to also have a secondary catcher in Dalton Varsho, so I can wait for one more year on Blake Mitchell, which I'd like to do because I just want to see him play just a little bit better in the minors. I think he's about ready. He can come up this season. If anything, he'll probably come up in September. Would not be a bad move, or we'll wait till next season when he actually needs to come up. I'm actually going to put Jack here in the DH spot for this team this year, because I think at the end of this season, we'll see Jack and Mitchell both on their way up. Otherwise, we didn't really make any moves outside of the trades that you saw, which were pretty much all prospects and, pitching. So we're kind of rolling back with a very similar team to what we did at the end of the... whoa, that was a struggle. Than what we did at the end of the year last year. Rooker will be back. Salvi is back. Now, I'm concerned that Salvi will be able to keep this up, but I mean, can you really get mad? I mean, this has been amazing. 46 home runs from him, 46 home runs. We're making him into a Hall of Famer. We'll see how much longer he can play. I had the opportunity to go after Alec Boehm. I just kept Brett Beatty because of how well he played last year. So we're kind of in a position where I feel like this team is close. I think they're a little bit ready. I think they just need a little bit more development here from like Beatty needs to develop. I need to see just a little bit more from Garcia. I need to see a little bit more from Pasquantino. But we have a full lineup, honestly. And I would hope that some of the other guys can develop a little bit more. But with this pitching rotation, as good as it is, I brought Singer back for 4 years. Reagans is obviously on his deal. Paddock is on his deal. Bernie Norman's on his deal. We've got 4 of the 5 pitchers locked up, and Jack is on his way to take that 5th spot. And hopefully Kadruna can just move over here, and we can have our 5 pitchers or 6 pitchers. Because we're close. Let's see how we perform as we move towards the draft, and see where we can finally fit Jack up in this lineup. Because if somebody plays poorly, Jack's on his way. Even if it's a bad hitter, Jack is on his way. Because I want him to be in the DH role now. I just want to make sure that I give the opportunity to everybody else before that. I know it's kind of stupid. They're kind of the same player, to be honest. But I did see the Marlins are putting David Fry on the trade block. He is hitting well. Varsho is not. It is just early in the season. We are competitive. I mean, not early. It's near the trade deadline. And so I'm going to give them the cheaper guy with the longer contract. Or not cheaper, but like the younger guy with the longer contract. And we're going to give him Taran Vavra just as a kind of throw-in piece for it, because I don't think he's been performing very well. Because I need something different. Varsho's just not really doing very well. And David Fry is from Texas, so he still fits our guidelines. By the way, I did bring up Jack. I didn't show it because, it was rough. It was rough. So, he was at like a 1.5 ERA in AAA. Brought him up to the MLB. Got rocked in 5 games. Just said, all right, never mind. You can go back down. So, David Fry, we're getting for Dalton Varsho and Taran Vavra. So to me, what is crazy about this draft is that Brantley got injured, so his potential is lower than it was. Blanco got injured. His potential is lower than what it was. Varela got injured, so his potential is lower than what it was. Honestly, it wasn't even that bad of a draft, all things considering. This is why you don't draft guys that are opted out. I get it. I know. You pay the consequences for your actions, kinda. For going after guys that are injured. Whoa. Okay. Hello. But I can't really be mad at it. I guess if anything, I should have taken this closer instead of the starting pitcher. When would you ever take a closer? Why would you ever take a closer with your first pick? So, yeah, we didn't get as good of a pick as we could have. I'm not that mad at it, though. Oh my god. Hello. 96 and 66. We improved by another 10 games this season. Winning the division. Putting together, honestly, probably the best team that we put together since 2014, 2015 in the World Series era. If we're going to win one, this is a really good shot right now. Because we're still pretty old. You really consider a lot of the players. We have young guys like Witt and all that, and we have young guys, but they haven't really performed. The older guys are the ones who've been performing. So the question comes with, can they get over the hump this season? I feel like this is our window. We're the 1 seed, actually, in the AL. That's a big deal. That bye will really help us out. Do we have any award winners? We do not, but Brent Rooker is the runner-up for the MVP. Barely. That is basically and essentially the same season as he hits 296, 51, and 130. That is a really good season for Brent Rooker. Wow, that is very close right there. Taking a look at the NL, Shohei Ohtani wins the MVP. Cy Young goes to Garrett Crochet and Spencer Strider. And I don't believe we're going to have any other ones. I did consider trading for Trey Morgan. That did not happen. Might have been an interesting trade to make. And Brent Rooker, also second in the Hank Aaron to Soto. So close. It's I wonder how much that's off by. Potential now. 184 hits, played 159 games, 157 games, 171. I mean, this is essentially the exact same season. I think OPS is just a little different. So it's the 27 doubles, 26 doubles. Is that it? Is that the difference between Rooker and Soto? One double? I'm not going to complain too much. That's an amazing season, honestly, from Rooker. A guy that we came and picked up, just hoping that he would end up being a good assist, to our team, and ends up, runner up to the MVP. Doubles leader is Bobby Witt. Rooker led in hits. This is just a bad offensive season all the way around. 184 hits, led the league this year. Last year was 216. So a big difference this year to last year. I'm also wondering, arbitration. I was like, he's like 2 years away. This is a guy I want. He's from Alabama. He would fit. It would be a really interesting infield with Gunnar and Bobby Witt. I will be making a big deal for Gunnar Henderson when he becomes a free agent. I will let you know that right now. All right, so good season all around. Let's take a look at our actual lineup and rotation. Did they send anybody down? No pitchers. So let's take a look. Sal Frank, very good. 314, 1-2 whip. I brought Caglianone back, and he was awful. And so this fifth pitcher, not good for us right now between Caglianone and Cadruna. Pretty rough. MacArthur was good. Zerpa was good. Hernandez was kind of bad. 182 whips, not very good. Schreiber was good. Not the greatest season from Harvey. And fantastic season from Kopech, who's got a potential now. Okay, that's what I like to see. Kopech will be our closer. I'm going to have to give him an extension, though. Okay. Taking a look at the actual rotation. Not a great season from Reagans. Decent season from Singer and Paddock. Bernie Norman. Very, very good year from Bernie Norman. 176 strikeouts, 3.27 ERA. This is going to be an interesting playoffs if this is what this pitching rotation is going to come with. We are fully a bullpen team. All right, taking a look at the lineup. Did they send anybody down? Foscue got sent down, and deservedly so. Did not put together a very good season, it looks like. And yeah, okay. So that was the only one who got sent down. Taking a look at the actual lineup. Isbell, 266, 10 homers off the bench. Like to see that. Prado. Oh yeah, I think Rooker got hurt near the end of the year, so this is what we need to switch here. That could also be it. Rooker did get hurt with like 3 games left. But Melendez, all right, off the bench. Josh Smith, amazing utility bat off the bench this year. Big improvement from where he was the last 2 seasons. I'd love to see this. Very interesting player. And Waters, just kind of our defensive replacement. Just kind of mid, honestly. When it comes to the lineup, Brent Rooker hit 184 hits. We already showed this. 51 home runs, 296 average, 961 OPS for a WAR of 5.3 as he was the DH this season. Very, very good from him. Kelenic, 246. Not actually that bad. Decent improvement. I want to see where he's at WAR-wise because I know he's not a really good defensive player. But yeah, serviceable. Bobby Witt, a little bit of a down year. Still 27 home runs, 96 RBIs, hit 285. See some stats went down as his power looked like it went down a little bit. Still 868 OPS. This is just the worst of the last 4 years. Still 7 WAR season though. Very, very good for him. Salvi is regressing. He's a 78 overall now, but still hit 31 home runs. Put together a good season. That puts him at 401 home runs. He's got to come back. We're going to get him to 2,000 hits next year. But still a good year. 3 WAR from him. I think that's probably enough to get him to the Hall of Fame, honestly, that 400 home run. Pasquantino puts together a pretty good year here. 283, 27 home runs. Beatty with a 265, 11 home runs, 25 doubles. I'd like to see it. Prado, very, very good year. Looks like he's at his cap, though, with its C potential. A little disappointing because of that, but oh my God, 382 on base percentage. Yes, please. Mikael Garcia, all right. I want him to get on base a little bit more, but he's getting that average back up to where we want it. And David Fry was a phenomenal pickup. 31 home runs, 27 doubles, 286 average. How much WAR did he end up accruing? 5 WAR for this season. This is a really good shot. Now the question is this pitching rotation going to burn us? I think the thing I need to do is I need to take Caglianone out. I'm going to bring Will Klein up. And we're just going to figure out how we can do this, see who we're playing. I think we got an honest shot to win this. I really do. So we're going to roll with the 4-man rotation here against the Twins in the ALDS. We are going to go Ragans, Singer, Paddock, and then Norman. I'm not going to let Kadruna pitch. He's been pretty bad this season. I really cannot rely on that. I'm hoping that our guys can get us at least enough because the offense has been very good this year. Let the offense win these games and just don't blow it, guys. Ragans versus Gallen in game 1 is a 1-5 loss. Ragans get lit up in this one. So, okay, it's only one game. Singer versus Joe Ryan in game 2, 3-2 victory. Almost blow that, it looks like. We lost the lead here actually in the 9th, but we get 2 runs in the 9th from Bobby Witt, maybe? We're going to call that Bobby Witt. All right, Chris Paddock versus Pablo Lopez, his former team. Ooh, broken ankle for Jared Kelenic. But we get the victory. With him benched, we are going to have to make a swap. It looks like it's going to be, I guess MJ Melendez is probably the best fit. Or it would be Josh Smith. I think Isbell, I think we'll just have, that's going to be rough. Okay, 2-1 lead at least. We lost Kelenic. Bernie Norman versus Bailey Ober in game 4. 4-2 victory. We will be taking on the New York Yankees. I'm going to have to switch this up. We're going to have Ragans pitch game 1. They have Scooball. Okay. Hello, New York. All right. So let's switch this up. We're going to go Ragans, Singer, Paddock, Norman. And the hope is that Ragans will not blow this one. For game 1 against the Yankees, Cole Ragans versus Garrett Cole. We lose that one 2-7. Carlos Hernandez, 5 runs in the 10th. He's the worst of bullpen arm. Why was he even pitching? Okay. Brady Singer versus Tariq Scooball in game 2. 6-4 victory. That is a good one to get. As it looks like Marcus Stroman blew that one. Chris Paddock versus Chase Hampton in game 3. 3-4 loss. That's a rough one to lose. We are down 2-1. Bernie Norman here against Garrett Cole in game 4. We win that one 9-3. It is a 2-2 series. Let's go adjust. We're not going to let Kadruna pitch. I do not trust him. 2 pitch. We will go Ragans, Singer, and I might go Norman in game 7 if we need him. Ragans versus Luis Gil in game 5. 5-3 victory. We have Brady Singer against Tariq Scooball in game 6. This is a big one. Can we take care of this? I don't want to have to bring in Bernie Norman in game 7. 2-3 loss. 3 runs in the 7th. All right. I think it's time. We're going to jump in and we are going to play this one. Or, manage it. Norman versus Cole. Let's make sure I have everything ready. I'm actually going to look at the lineup quick because I want to make sure. Melendez. Josh Smith instead. Yes. Losing Kelenic hurts so much right now. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Crazy thing about this is we will be playing St. Louis if we beat them. Kind of want that. All right. Play next game. St. Louis, by the way, had the first pick last year. So they turned it around real quick. All right. Quick manage. We're going to go Bernie Norman. We are also going to be fully willing to go to the bullpen early if we need to. But this is going to be a big one. Can we do it against the Yankees? Not a good start. Double from Brent Rooker. Fly out. 1-run scores thanks to Bobby Witt. Salvi, can you do it? Strike out. We are up 1-0. I like to see it. We are, ooh, okay. 2 men on. Can you get out Volpe? Ground out. All right. This is a stressful lineup to go against. We need a little bit more offense, guys. I don't like the 3 hits, but Bernie is pitching well. Single from Garcia. Come on, give him some insurance. That's a walk. Josh Smith. That's a walk. Bases loaded for Bobby Witt. Fielder's choice. Okay. Come on, Bernie. Get out of this. Oh, ooh, that was a stressful inning. Single from Salvi. Single from Pasquantino. Bases loaded. I would have went for the sac fly normally, but we had 0 outs, so I wanted to take the risk. Nick Prado with the bases loaded. They're going to switch to Carlos Rodon. That's a strikeout. We are going to have to try to sac fly here. We do. 2-0 lead. David Fry gets the 2 runs. 4-0 lead for Brent Rooker. Another run. 5-0 lead. This is big. We're going to let Bernie go against these righties. And he gets through 7. I think it's time for the bullpen. I'm ready. Bernie has been absolutely amazing. I think it's time to go. Schreiber. Fly out. Round out. Solo home run from Volpe. But we do get out of that. Can we get just a little bit more offense, guys? I just want to see it. Bases loaded for Josh Smith. This is a lefty. Let's pinch hit here. Because I think... I thought that... Yeah. Oh, this is clutch rating. Alright, then never mind. We will just go. Strikeout. Alright, pitching change. We're going to go to Michael Kopech here in the 9th. That's 1 hit. Fly out. Don't hit the double play. I mean, I'll take the double play, but... Ooh, okay. Torkelson gets a double. That's a strikeout. Let's enter this, and let's watch. Let's see what we can get here. For our chance to advance to the first World Series since 2015.
Welcome if you just joined us, John Shelby and Chris Singleton as we've got...
Kopech versus Spencer Jones here in the top of the 9th. What can Kopech do? Is it going to be enough? That was a terrible pitch. Left a slider right over the middle of the plate, but hey, he takes it. 0-1 count. That's big. With the pitch, he draws that one down in the dirt. Kopech breaks to a 1-1 count. Here at the top of the 9th. That did not look like a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, but I will take it. 1-2 count, 1 pitch away from the World Series. Terrible pitch, but it's grounded out. And we win the American League, and we will be going on to take on St. Louis in the World Series. The Missouri World Series. Amazing game from Bernie Norman. I don't care who you say is the World Series MVP or the playoff MVP, ALCS. It's Bernie Norman to me. Also, Kellenic is jumping around a lot for somebody who is severely injured.
For my partner Chris Singleton and our entire outstanding crew, thank you for watching the
Bernie Norman, absolute legend right now for us. He's an ace. He is an ace. We will be going on to play St. Louis in the World Series now. And that team's probably going to look way different than what we are used to, just based on the fact that they've been such a bad team for the last several years. But going 7 games, we play in 3 days. And we are going to, so I guess Paddock maybe? We do not have the energy for this. Reagans, Singer, Norman. I hope Kadruna never sees the mound. Though that might actually switch. I might have to fix that in a second. Let's take a look at their roster. by the lineups. Let's go take a look at what St. Louis has, because this team's got to be way different. Where is... I'm blind. Sorry, I am blind. I am blind. My bad. All right. St. Louis, Mason Wynn, Brendan Donovan. They have Vladdy. That is an interesting pickup. He had 316 this year, 31 home runs, 31 doubles. He must be playing really, really well in the playoffs right now. That is a big one. Nolan Gorman is a great player. They still have Arenado. Weatherholt's up. That looks like the really only move they've made lineup-wise. So it's kind of the bullpen. Tanner Scott. And the bullpen, not really anything. Pavetta is their 8. Oh, that's their ace? Okay. I mean, come on. They don't have a good bullpen. They don't have a good rotation. This is purely a bats all lineup. So is ours. And oh my God, it is a good one. It is a good lineup. I mean, look at that. 4 home runs from Arenado so far this playoffs. 4 home runs from Nolan Gorman. Yeah, okay. And they kind of cakewalked through. They beat the... Yeah, all right. What do we got? Pavetta versus Paddock in Game 1 of the World Series. What can we get? I don't like that it's Paddock, but it's going to have to be. 13-4. We kind of dominate that game. That's a big one. Ragans versus Bubic in Game 2. 3-5 loss. Ragans does not play very well. Brady Singer versus David Peterson in Game 3. 5-3 victory. The GOAT, Bernie Norman versus Tink Hence in Game 4. He does lose that one, but looks like he really doesn't give up much. It was just, looks like the bullpen gave up more of these runs, actually. If we take a look. He gave up 1 run. Errors. Yeah, that's got to be errors. We only gave up 2 earned runs pitching. So that must have been a huge defensive mistake by Salvi. Come on, Salvi, to lose that one. We are going to switch through. I don't want to see Paddock. I don't want to see Ragans. I only want these 2 to pitch. So I guess Ragans, Singer, Norman. I don't like it, but it's going to have to be. Whoopsies. Ragans, Singer, Norman. Norman's got Game 7 again if we need him. Ragans in Game 5 versus Tekoa Roby. He pulls out the 8-0 victory. Amazing game from him. Only 7 hits. We are up 3-2. Brady Singer versus Pavetta in Game 6. Let's go in and quick manage this next game. And servers go down right before we go to Game 6, and I don't think I had saved any of those World Series games. Yay! I'll leave this thing on, and we'll just see, and hopefully it did. I bet you it didn't. Why do I have to be benevolent and give my friend my accounts? He can have games too. I just want to finish the World Series. So it's the next day. The servers are back. But, all right, here we go. Game 6. Brady Singer versus Nick Pavetta. We are just going to quick manage once again. The whole idea, hopefully we can get this season. I am kind of shocked, to be honest, that we have made the run that we have made so far. But we're going to take it because I did not really expect to do this. We have been running pretty much a 3-pitcher rotation through this postseason. I am hoping that, as I manage this might be more bullpen than anything. Oh, wow. Josh Smith, not very good here. We're going against a righty. I guess I could go. Oh, MJ Melendez isn't good either, though. And I don't have Kalanick. So, do I go Josh Smith? Yeah, we do. We'll just stick with it. Maybe we'll drop him to the bottom of the lineup, and we'll let David Fry go to the top and just see if we can do it. All right, Game 6. What can we do here against this really powerful Cardinals offense? That's a big one. 3-run home run. We do have 2 men on for Salvi. Bases loaded for Brett Beatty, and that's a strikeout. All right. So we're down 3-0. That's a big way to be down in the beginning. Man on second and third for David Fry. That's a flyout. Okay. Double for Salvi. Single, and he gets thrown out. Double, we do get a runner in, so it's 3-1. And I think, I don't know how much more. Oh, let's go. Double. 3-2. Man on first and second for David Fry. Strikeout. Bobby Witt. 1 run scores. It is a tie game with a man on first and second for Salvador Perez. Another run as he gets a double. We are up 4-3 in the bottom of the fourth. A single from Pasquantino. We are now leading this game in game 6. Kind of a shock. Oh, but it's starting to slip a little bit. Do I let him pitch to Gorman? Or do we go with a pitching change? I think we're going to go with a pitching change right now. Ah. Okay, 5-4. We do get out of those. Okay, this is big. Now it's 5-4. We're in the 6th. Fielder's choice. He steals second. Salvi flies out. Okay, we're going to make a pitching change here. We are going to go with a righty pitcher. I don't want to use too much of the bullpen, so I don't want to go too far back in because I don't want to like waste Kopech. I think what we're going to do here is we are going to go MacArthur for this inning. He gets out of that. Bottom of the 7th, Pasquantino with a ground out. Solo home run from Brett Beatty. It's 5-5 game. That is huge. Prado with a ground out. It is tie game in the top of the 8th. I think we'll just keep going with MacArthur. He gets out of that one. It is the bottom of the 8th. Josh Smith grounds out. Brent Rooker strikes out. And another out there. We're going to switch. Who do I want to go with here? Righty, lefty, righty. I think we have to go with the righty. We'll go with Schreiber here. Walks, single, man on first and second. Sack bunt. A walk for Vlad Guerrero. Honestly, I gotta go Kopech. Ah, that's tough. That's tough. Double for Bobby Witt. Okay. All right. We're still in this. Salvador Perez. Ground out. Come on, Pasquantino. Single. Man on first and third. Can Brett Beatty continue the magic? 1 run score. Man on first and second for Nick Prado. 1 run scores. Tie game. All right. We're going to jump in. We are going to see this. Can Maikel Garcia win us this game here in the bottom of the 9th? In game 6, we are going to select no one. Man on first and second for Maikel Garcia against Ryan Helsley. Ball outside. This is huge. In the Missouri Bowl. The Missouri Series. St. Louis versus Kansas City. Game 6. Can we complete the comeback? Maikel Garcia swings and misses. That is a 1-1 count. I just want to see it. Can he do it? That ball is right down the middle, Maikel. You gotta swing at it. You gotta swing at it, Maikel. 1-2 count for Maikel Garcia. That ball is down in the dirt. 2-2. This could be everything. Could we win a World Series right here? Can Maikel Garcia walk it off? He hits it. Oh, foul. All right. That looked like that could get down the line. It did not. It went out foul. Let's see it. Garcia with the pitch. That's a grounder to third, to second, to first. It is going into extra innings here in Kansas City. What can we see happen as we continue to advance? We're going to go back into the quick manage because I need to be able to control the pitching. Kopech gets through that. That's a walk. Runner thrown out, but we have a double. I think we will jump back in. And we will continue to watch. Now David Fry in the 10th inning with Brent Rooker on second base. What can he do? That pitch is high. That is a strike. 0-1 count. There's another one. He hits it. Does it get down? It does. Is Rooker going to go in? Rooker. He's going. Oh, he didn't go. I wish I could see a better angle. I wish I could have seen a better angle. That's huge. Men on the corners for Bobby Witt Jr. Drew Waters is going to come in to pinch run. Bobby just needs to hit the ball into the outfield, and we can win the World Series. 1-0 count. Kansas City is up on their feet. Look at Bobby Witt this offseason, too. 6 home runs, 17 RBIs. Can he do it? Against John King here in the bottom of the 10th. Oh, whoa. Bobby Witt. What are you swinging at, buddy? All right, 1-1 count. Here we go. He hits it. Foul. All right, 1-2 count. Salvador Perez is on deck, by the way. So this is still a pretty good shot if we get it. Bobby Witt strikes out looking. He will not be the hero today. But instead, you know whose time it is. Salvador Perez. Can he be the hero? He lets that pitch go for a strike. 0-1 count. He has 2 doubles so far in this game. 0-1 count for Salvador Perez. With a man on first and third. With the pitch. Fouls that ball off. I mean, this is kind of intense here. All right, 0-2 count. Oh, that was close. Just below the knees. He takes that for a ball. 1-2 count here for Salvador Perez. I feel like this game has taken forever. Here we go. With the pitch. He grounds it. Foul. All right. Come on, guys. You can do it. You can do it. 1-2 count for Salvador Perez. Throws it right down the middle. He hits it. Is it going to get down? It gets down. The Royals are World Series champions. Salvador Perez with the walk-off in the bottom of the 10th. The Royals win the World Series in 6 games over the St. Louis Cardinals. And what a better story than Salvador Perez getting the walk-off single in the bottom of the 10th of the World Series to win the world. Wow, that is a story. A beautiful game, stressful game, but we've done it. We are World Series champions. The Kansas City Royals, Bobby Witt Jr. and big Salvador Perez gets another one. About 13 years after the first one. 12 years. I forget what year it is. The Royals have won the World Series with a walk-off. That is insane. A great way to end it. A walk-off in the 10th. Who's your World Series MVP? It's Bobby Witt Jr., though I think a lot of people would give the credit to Salvador Perez if he were to actually do that. And playoff MVP also goes to Bobby Witt. Just an amazing postseason from Bobby. And, yeah, I mean, he hit 400 in the World Series. That is crazy. But the big hero is Salvador Perez. It's 2027, and Bobby Witt is, 26 years old. So I think we've met the success criteria of trying to win a World Series here with the Royals. We have done it. We've done it really early, honestly. Didn't expect to win it this early. But we're also just going to go through Bobby Witt's career, and we're going to continue to build this team. I'm probably not going to show drafts. We're just going to show end of seasons from now on, playoffs, season recap stats. I might not even show off seasons to show what we've done to the team. Maybe I will like this season. But we're going to start moving forward as more of the Bobby Witt career sim here in Kansas City, just to see what he can do for the rest of his career as a one-time World Series champion and a World Series MVP. Can we get him any other awards? Can we get him an MVP? I believe that he's close. I think he really has the potential to do so. And the other one, I mean, we haven't even really seen some of the other guys. Like Caglianone hasn't really played well, so we never really get to saw. We haven't really seen him. Bernie Norman is a stud. Love this guy so far, and I think Salvi is a Hall of Famer. I really do. So, two-time World Series champion now, and with a walk-off in the World Series, that's how you end it. Unless he retires this offseason, we will be bringing him back. So I'll see you for the next several seasons. We're just going to kind of start moving a little bit quicker and see what we can really put together. And we have definitely determined that Kansas City is the best team in the Central United States. So yeah, so this season is going to be our last kind of update to show the true free agent moves, just because I want to show what we're going to do as we attempt to run it back here in 2028. And we actually kind of bought. My intention was actually to sell this free agency, but I didn't buy in the sense of spending a lot of money. I actually saved money. We have more money to work with this year than we did last year. We got lucky. There were 2 players that came available that were really interesting to me. Jake Berger, we got out of the Rule 5 draft, even though he won a Silver Slugger last year. So we'll take that. Rule 5 draft Jake Berger. And then another player that was weirdly left available was Jordan Walker, who I got off waivers. Editor Big coming in here. I am going to mention that this mistake is eventually fixed. I have no idea what was going through my head when I did this. I must have thought that Western Georgia for some reason counted as the Central. I don't know. No matter what, we trade away Jordan Walker before anything becomes relevant. So do not worry. He will not be on the roster long term. Made a mistake. It is fixed. He has not necessarily been that good for St. Louis, but I figured, hey, we'll take a shot. He can just kind of sit on our bench, if anything. And if not, we can trade him away. That's fine. He's an asset, really, more than anything. So this season, the rotation's going to look like this. We're going to go with Reagan's Singer. Bernie Norman now kind of coming up this rotation as he has really cemented himself as the 3rd starter. Chris Paddock is the 4th, and this 5th starter is going to be either Cadruna or Caglianone. There's also a chance for Larry Starr or Asa Lacy to come and take that spot too if they play really well and those 2 play poorly. We made no free agency moves besides bringing back Kopech. And then in the lineup, the only things that you saw there were the Jordan Walker as well as Jake Berger. I did not decide to bring up Blake Mitchell just yet. I have the ability to, but with the Jordan Walker addition, I figured I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that I can continue to stash Blake Mitchell in the minors, and we're going to do that. Though this is probably, and I said this last season, probably the last season of Salvi because we are a competitive team. But I can't, I can't give up on him. I can't let him go to another team. So we'll just keep bringing him around because he's playing well. I mean, that was another Silver Slugger last year. If he plays well again this year, we'll keep sticking with him as long as he continues to prove he can play. And then we'll let him retire whenever he needs to otherwise, because I think our catchers are ready to go. We are going to put him in a DH spot against lefties simply because I want to try to get him some rest because he's not a good catcher anymore. And that'll let Melendez play catcher, I guess, at least. The nice thing about having Melendez and Fry is that both of them can play catcher, and that's why I'm not really in a rush to bring up Mitchell. Caglianone could also come in and play. I don't know what his ratings are as a hitter. Pretty good against righties. So there's also a shot that Caglianone can come in and play DH if somebody is playing really poorly, aka all of our outfielders are playing really poorly. So let's try to run it back. I'm honestly do not have confidence in our ability to do so. I think last year was kind of a fluke, but when you look at this offense, second in contact, second in power, I could be wrong. This could be a lot better offense. I said what? Sorry. A lot better offense than what I expected to be. And we'll see what Bobby Witt can do as well. And hopefully Caglianone as well. So the last draft that we are going to do, we took a closer with the first pick. Just figured that would be a good player to add to this bullpen, just knowing that, we're going to eventually need one at some point. So Tommy Carpenter was the top pick. Then we just kind of swung at a couple guys throughout. Tom Simone was all right. Santa was all right. Wolf, meh. Saucedo, honestly, for a reliever, not that bad. Martinez, pretty good, but he's 20. And then I wasn't able to get this guy. Just kind of taking some swings. Some of the guys that I wanted weren't really there anymore. Wow, okay, that's a draft from them. 99, 98, 93. Insane draft for the Mariners there. If I had a top pick, that's who it would have been. I'm curious if there was one guy who I liked, but he was injured. And just because of how last draft went, I wanted to just see how it would go this time. I want to say the Diamondbacks got him. Yeah, it was this guy. He was projected the second overall pick, and then he was injured, so his actual potential was like, I think like 90, 96 or whatever. I think it was like a 78 to 96, like almost a guaranteed. But injured, drops to an 82. I'm happy that we didn't take him at the top pick. I think that ended up being all right. Looks like this closer was just as good. So I don't think we did too bad. I mean, you generally don't want to take a closer at the first. Oh, wow. Hello. Another 99. Was that a gen? That was 80 overall. Bob Logan in our division too. Come on. Great drafts, to be honest. Amazing. So in our attempt to repeat, we go 89 and 73, at least this time in this reality, or, this, I guess, after attempt to repeat, in 2015 they didn't make the playoffs afterwards. We do, though we are the wild card. I'm curious which team won it. It's probably the Guardians, to be honest. Yeah, it looks like it was. You can actually see right there. But so not another division win. We did get a little bit worse this year, and I'm curious how. No award winners. Another MVP for Soto. How many is that up for him now? 199 hits, 55 home runs, 3 years in a row. He has dominated since he's went to Texas. Just kind of a perfect place for him, I guess. 3 times in a row, home run champion and MVP. Has dominated since he got there. Shohei Ohtani wins the MVP on the NL side. Paul Skeens wins Cy Young on the NL side, and Shane McClanahan on the AL side. Ooh, Bobby Witt, runner up in the batting title, hitting 354. Jordan also hitting 354. I'd have to see. I wonder, did Jordan get more hits? 193 hits, 214 hits. So I really don't see why that's Jordan's batting title, but it must be just a percentage. I bet you it's 193 divided by 545. Yeah, or whatever, plate appearances, Actually, the average is probably a decimal point. I really hope it's not alphabetical, because that's kind of annoying, as he loses that and also loses the Hank Aaron to Jordan by basically nothing. Taking the league leaders, led in triples, led in slugging percentage, and led in WAR. Once again, Bobby Witt, probably one of the best players in the league again. He's been very, very consistent. Devers, 220 hits for Rafael Devers, who finishes third. This is just a crazy season. Very competitive between Devers, Witt. You talk about Soto and Jordan. Just a lot of really, really good offense this season in the AL. Let's go take a look at how we actually did this year. In the bullpen, Aguilion just a little rough, 663. I'm going to check his hitting here. He did get 14 hits, not a lot of opportunities, 2 home runs in that time. He's just not really looked that great since he's came up, and I mean his stats say that, right? Like, maybe we should just convert him to just be a position player, because he's not a pitcher. He can't pitch. It sucks. I mean, maybe I just gotta be more patient with him. But that hits per 9 and that walks per 9 is terrible. Though his batting is continuously getting better. That's a power bat. Like, that's a guy that should be your DH. Maybe I'll just make him the DH next year, and we'll just roll with it. Hunter Harvey, really good season, 2.2 with a 1.01 whip. Zerpa, all right. Will Klein was rough this year. Not really happy about that because I probably could have brought somebody up instead in his stead. Sal Frank was good, MacArthur was good, and Kopech, 3 blown saves. I mean, 3.55 ERA is really high for a guy who only blew 3 saves. So, I mean, this is a really, really good season from our closer. Looks like he just gave up runs when we had bigger leads. We'll take it. Rotation, Reagans, not a very good season from him. Not a very good season from Singer. Norman was all right, 3.72, 3.76 from Paddock, and 4.1 from Kadruna. Just would have liked a little bit more from everybody here, but I do think Bernie Norman will probably get the mound at the top of the rotation next season. I like him. I want to give him the shot. I want to give him the 33 starts, instead of the 32. So we'll give him the top of the rotation next season. Also, just because I do think Singer might start going down a little bit. But I like our rotation. I guess Kadruna is the other starter. And the other question is whether or not Larry Starr or Asa Lacy will come up in their stead soon, especially with Caglianone being very, very disappointing. We might have to readjust the rotation. Taking a look at the lineup, anybody gets sent down. Another just poor season from Drew Waters, who has only stayed up really because he's been a positive defensive player for the last several seasons. But I think I just got to kind of give up on him. Brett Beatty, he got sent down. 246, 13 home runs, not bad. How was his WAR? 2 WAR, he should be back up. We'll bring him back up. I did have Foscue up, but he never played. So let's take a look at the actual lineup. Michael Garcia, down year from him, 239, 291 on base percentage. I did take him out of the lineup against righties because he was playing so poorly. Pasquantino has been injured on and off all year, so not the greatest season because of that, but honestly, like averages wise, love it. 800 OPS, where we want to see him. Not as good as last year, but the on-base percentage is higher, so I'll take it. He just needs to slug a little bit more, a little more power. He will be back next year in that spot. Melendez, pretty good here as well. Oh, wow. Did they send somebody else? Oh, Salvi. Salvi got hurt, so they sent him down. By the way, he's done. We're going to bring him back up for the playoffs because he's a playoff guy, but he's done. 211, 13 home runs, 100 hits. I mean, we got him over 2,000 hits. We had him over 400 home runs. Negative WAR season. He's out. I think it's over for Salvi. We're not going to bring him back, but we will bring him up for the playoff run. Melendez, pretty good. Smith, meh. I never had Cross up. Rooker, another 40 home run season. Very, very good from him. I'd like to see it. This has been a really good pickup for us. Jordan Walker was a pretty good pickup. 273, 21 home runs. Obviously, Bobby Witt, fantastic year. Blake Mitchell I brought up in September. He is going to take Salvi's spot. Kellenic put together a pretty good year, though he did not play a lot. Prado, another good year. Berger was pretty good this season. No Silver Slugger from him. And David Fry, very, very good this year, hitting 298, 30 home runs, 165 hits. I'd love to see it. Honestly, offensively, we've been really, really good outside of Salvi. So for the playoffs, what we're going to do is Pasquantino. I have to fix this here. We're going to swap like that. And we will bring Prado, I guess, in this spot. And I'm going to adjust and bring Salvi back up to the lineup, but he's not going to play. So we'll get you to the Baltimore series and see what that looks like as we attempt to run it back. I hope that we can, though the pitching is very, very concerning. Game 1 here, we are going to go with Bernie at the top. I just trust him the most right now. So Bernie, then Reagans, and Singer. Can we take down the Orioles? This is going to be pretty tough knowing that we are away here. We win Game 1. Bernie's amazing. They score their runs in the 6th, but none of them get attributed to Bernie. Game 2, Reagans versus Kyle Bradish. We win that one. We are advancing. And we will keep Salvi on the bench. But we are going to be playing Texas here. Looks like our AA team won everything. We'll probably just pitch Singer, honestly. But Texas is a very, very good roster. I'm curious. So, okay. I just wanted to see who was all in here. Singer versus Crochet in Game 1. We do lose that one. I think I have to go back. I just want to go back to Bernie, honestly. Not that Paddock isn't good, but I want Bernie as a shot in the in game 5 if I need him. So game 2, Bernie versus Tristan McKenzie. He wins. Bernie. I'm giving the credit once again to Bernie because he's a stud. He is legit amazing pitcher. All right, Chris Paddock in game 3 versus Cole Winn. We get demolished. Cole Reagans, game 4 versus Casey Mize. We lose. We are out. Bernie is the only reliable pitcher we have. So, as we sim the postseason, the Pirates defeat the Astros in the World Series. We are unable to repeat. Jack Sawinski wins World Series MVP. Luis Arias postseason MVP, and Cabrian Hayes postseason MVP. So we are unable to repeat, but hey, we got ourselves our World Series. I think now it's all about developing this team. We'll probably just show you a couple seasons. We'll move a little bit. I'm just going to move quickly now, show you season updates at the end of each season as we move forward, see what we can do. I'll probably keep it a little bit quicker though, because it just show you some of the more interesting players as we move on and see what Bobby Witt can do for the rest of his career. See what Jack Caglianone can potentially do. And let's see what Bernie Norman can do. This guy has been a stud for us since we drafted him. And we've got a lot more prospects on the way that I think are really, really interesting. Bernie's the only one we drafted we've really seen so far. But we've got more on the way. And I'm curious how this team can build out as we are getting a little older right now. And are probably going to need to do a reset. And we'll see if Salvi makes it to the Hall of Fame. Well, I'll make one more move. I did say I was going to do this. I mean, why not? And so for at least the next 5-6 years, we're going to have an infield of Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt. I think that's a pretty good infield for the future. Not the hero, Bernie Norman. What are we going to do? No ace? Well, hopefully the insane offense we've built will be able to make up for it. But, I don't know how well we're going to do if we don't have our ace. Now, I did say I was just going to kind of sim forward through things, but we won over 100 games, which I think is a big twist here, and I think it means that we're a very, very competitive team and have a really good shot at actually winning something. And I do believe I've seen the stats all season. We're the 1 seed, and we haven't had good pitching, which means we've had great offense, and I know we've had great offense. So, yep, there are some award winners, and this happened in the Giants rebuild too. I already know it happened here, but yeah, this is going to be kind of big. First off, Cy Young from Brady Singer. Shout out Brady Singer with the Cy Young, despite not being the ace. Absolutely phenomenal season for him to get a Cy Young. Hank Aaron to Gunner and MVP to Gunner. This happened exactly the same way in the Giants rebuild, where the Oriole that we signed in free agency just won the MVP. Now, what did the season? Okay, that's a very, very good season. 61 home runs from Gunnar Henderson is an insane season. Finally breaks up the Juan Soto run. And Singer gets the Cy Young because of wins. I kind of knew that was going to happen. I did start seeing that like later in the season that he was leading it because I did double check because we had injuries and stuff like that. So I had to go fix the rotation. I saw he was like 19-1. I was like, yeah, that's a Cy Young right there. David Fry almost gets the batting title, and very, very good season from us here. Other MVP goes to Jordan, who is now a Cardinal, and then the other Cy Young goes to Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Did he get the Triple Crown, Jordan? Looks like he did. Triple Crown goes to Jordan in the NL side. Take a look at lead. Oh my God, bad English. Taking a look at league leaders. Brady Singer with winning percentage, wins, shutouts, complete games. And then on the offensive side, that's pretty small font because it's Gunner, Bobby, Gunner. Amazing season from us offensively here. Chandler Simpson does take away the batting title, but 202 hits. And then look at all these Royals here. 202 hits from Gunner, 186 from Fry, 186 from Witt, 185 from Jordan Walker. The Rays must be pretty good too. When it comes to doubles, you can see we have up here Witt, Gunner, and Fry. And on the triples, you have Witt, Gunner, and Jordan. And then on home runs, you have Witt, and I see Rooker not Witt. In the top 10, we have David Fry, Witt, Rooker, and Gunnar. 61 home runs from Gunnar is a crazy good season from him. Let's go take a look quick at how basically Brady Singer did, because this is a very, very good year from him. 315, 22-3 season, 3.15 ERA. What WAR does that end up being? I know it's a lot of victories, so that ends up being still only like a 4 WAR season from him. Reagan's was good as well. Paddock was pretty good. It looks like they sent down Larry Starr, who I had brought up, 5.22, and Hendricks Driver, who I had brought up, who's 5.97. Because Kudrina and Caglione weren't good, and Bernie Norman got hurt. So bullpen was also a little bit worse. 8 blown saves from Kopech this year. But yeah, pitching rotation wasn't as good. This season was all about, and I'm curious because I know they would send people down. Beatty got sent down at a 241. Foscue got sent down at a 271. Marissa Forte got sent down, hitting 262. Like our bats were just phenomenal this year. No doubt. Garcia with a 262. Prado hit 265 at a little bit of a limited time. The catcher position was weak. I almost wish that we would have just kept Salvi. But it's fine for Salvi to ride into the sunset after those last 2 seasons. Jensen didn't really play much. Yeah, so we had a kind of weak bench, but that's because Kellenic, 295. Jordan Walker hit 300. You have Witt hit 311, 38 home runs, 130 RBIs. He played a little bit less games this season because we have other shortstops now. But still, amazing season from Bobby Witt. That is another really, really high WAR season, I want to say. 8.7. So not as good as his 2028 year. He still does not have an MVP. But, this is a good year. Sucks because he's technically a shortstop, and Gunnar didn't actually play shortstop this year, so he should have got the awards, but I think those all went to Gunnar instead. His Gunnar played third. Rooker, 253, 40 home runs. David Fry, I moved him to catcher because the catcher was so bad. He hit 34 home runs, 331 average, 186. His potential went up. How much WAR did he end up acquiring by the end of the season? 8. Yeah, this is a superstar offense. Then Gunnar Henderson, 160 games at third, 200 hits, 61 home runs, 49 doubles, 11 triples, 324. He had an 1100 OPS and a WAR of 9.5. He wasn't necessarily the best defensively because he played third, and he's also just not the best defensively anyways. But he did steal that shortstop Silver Slugger that did not go to Bobby. If you notice, the Silver Sluggers have been split by those two all for the last several years. This is his second MVP award, though. So that does kind of hurt us because Bobby doesn't get it, and I would have loved to have seen Bobby get it, but I'm pretty sure those are a lot of records broken for Royals history. We will take that as as we're still building a Royals team more than a Bobby Witt team here. I'm going to have to fix this, and we'll see if this team, because offensively this team is amazing, if this team can be enough to kind of overcome the bad bullpen and bad rotation outside of the top 3 guys. It's going to be a very Singer, Reagans, Paddock heavy postseason. Oh, I should also show this. We have done plenty of rebuilds with Jack Caglione. I have never seen him be this bad. 4.86 ERA. We're going to give him another shot again, but we gave him the DH role in the beginning of the season. 182. 351 slugging. 600 OPS. What was his WAR? Minus 0.3. He is a negative player right now. So I'm not very happy with how he has performed so far. So I don't really know. It sucks because I want him to just be a core member of this team, but he just isn't playing well. It is what it is. And so to start the postseason of what is hopefully, this is honestly going to be the best offensive season we've ever put together. We do not have much pitching. So we're going to have to win these quick. Let's see if Brady Singer can take out Drew Thorpe in game 1. Cy Young season gets absolutely obliterated in the first game. Reagans versus Logan Gilbert in game 2. The pitching is not there, and we lose to the White Sox. Sim the postseason. The Giants defeat the Orioles in the World Series. Taking a look at the awards, Blake Sable wins the World Series MVP, Jackson Holliday on the AL side, and Sable on the NL side. So yeah, no pitching in the postseason really hurts at the end of that year. Can't really do much about it. And so the hope is next year we have more pitching. And that, I mean, Gunnar and Bobby and everything can continue to put together seasons like they have.
They can't stop me. I'm taking them all. I'm taking them all.
In our all-in year for the infield, Bobby Witt does win the Hank Aaron Award, but I think the bigger one is, I believe that, and yes, it is true, Gunnar Henderson wins back-to-back MVPs. I mean, we have 3 insane shortstops, all from the Central region. That, I mean, I guess technically Jackson Holliday's a second baseman in the game, but we know he's a shortstop. So we have 3 insane shortstops. Gunnar gets the MVP. Jackson Holliday was third. Looks like, and then Bobby Witt was, I mean, right behind him. Great middle infield. And I think that can be cemented by just the amount of power that this team now has in the Central. We have 32 home runs from Ian Nixon. We have 40 home runs from Bobby Witt, who hits 309. I believe that's his first Hank Aaron. No Gold Glove because he's sharing positions, sadly, but another All-Star. No Silver Slugger either. It is tough having 3 guys that all play the exact same position when you're trying to get them awards. So no real big awards for Bobby. 37 home runs for Jackson Holliday, who does steal the Silver Slugger. That's a second baseman, though, so it's a little bit different. And then 48 home runs from Gunnar Henderson with his second MVP, who also does end up getting the Silver Slugger in that spot. No Gold Glove, though, so we did not get a Gold Glove from those guys. But also Brett Rooker, still 35 home runs this season. Jack was able to come in halfway through the season and finally put together a decent offensive year. And Blake Mitchell, 20 home runs. I mean, if you really look at it, this team is an offensive juggernaut now. That's not even, Michael Garcia still put 325 at-bats in and played pretty well. So it's still a very, very good team. And I think the only issue is the pitching staff. Just not as good as I would like, but man, this guy was very, very good. That's a Cy Young level season, but he won't get it because 19-5. That's actually pretty good. 23-year-old like that, I don't know what I'm talking about. But Jack's putting it together. So the big question: can this super team win a World Series? We are going to sim each of these games. Big win in Game 1, big loss in Game 2 to Bernie Norman, getting a loss. That's not normally him. Losing Game 3, winning Game 4. This is a Game 5 with Cole Reagans on the mound. We do win that. We have to go against Baltimore, who we have taken their best player from. Actually, both their top players. Lose Game 1. Can Bernie pull out Game 2? That's a Game 2 victory. Game 3, Liam Yeager gets that victory. We are up 2-1. Can Cade Horton pull this one out? It is tied 2-2. We are up. And we win. We are taking on Miami in the 2030 World Series. We will have Bernie start Game 1, but Yeager is not, simply because of that ERA is horrible from Liam Yeager. We will probably go like this, and I want to pitch the 3 aces here, I guess. Bernie, Reagans. Oh my God, Reagans hasn't given up a run? Okay, I'm going to jinx that. He's going to give up a lot, but yeah. Okay, let's do it. So, Miami's a big one. Can we pull this off? Bernie Norman in Game 1. He does get hit that time. All right. Game 2, Cole Reagans versus Robbie Snelling. 5-2 victory. Game 3. Can we pull this one off? No, this pitching staff is hard to beat. I will say that. Can we pull off Game 4? We do, as our offense wakes up in Game 4. It is a 2-2 series here against Miami. I think because of that, we've got 3 games left. We are going to go back to the top. Not let Cade pitch. We're going to go Bernie, Reagans, and Singer. The kind of World Series MVP in 2028, 27. I already forgot what year it was. And then, our actual ace, and then Brady Singer, who won a Cy Young last year. Can they pull this off? Game 5. Bernie, just not a good postseason from him. We are down 3-2. I maybe made a mistake. I put all my faith in Bernie, but hey, Cole Ragans, Brady Singer. That's a great way to end, but it is Robbie Snelling and Noble Meyer. Can we do it? We lose to the Marlins 4-6. Ragans gives up some runs, so we do not win another World Series, but we do make it. So I will take that. Brent Rooker gets a playoff MVP, and Jack, very, very good too. So, this team's still pretty good. But I think what we're going to do from now on, now that we've established what this team is, we're just going to sim in the future. I will show you if we win a World Series. I will show you if Bobby gets an award, and I will show you his end of career stats. I think we'll probably see you next around 2034, unless we win a World Series in that time, because that is when his contract is up, and I will have to give him an extension. Also, MLB The Show did not give Salvador Perez a Hall of Fame induction. We are going to give it to him, though. So, MLB The Show doesn't like home run hitting catchers. Since 2034, his contract is now up. The original contract that Bobby Witt was on. And we have not necessarily had the best luck throughout this time. Despite absolutely stacking the roster, having a really, really good pitching rotation, and one of the greatest infields ever created, we can't seem to get past the Cleveland Guardians in the AL, which is kind of annoying. I feel like every single time, I think maybe the Rangers got us once, we've gotten to a point where we get to the divisional series and just can't seem to pull it out. Whether it's pitching, bullpen, I don't necessarily know. It just doesn't happen. Every year, Guardians just kind of take us out, which means it's probably pitching related. The offense dies down. So he is regressing pretty hard. He's a 78 overall, meaning I don't know how much time he has. He is at 429 home runs right now, 2,200 hits. The speed is pretty much gone, so the stolen bases are gone. The hope is that I can get him to 400 stolen bases. I don't think he'll get there, but we can hope. For WAR, he's starting to be kind of a mediocre player, but 85 WAR after all those seasons that we were at before. I did sign him to an extension until he's 40. And I don't think he's going to play through the whole of it because I don't want to do the thing where I just stick him into DH and he plays forever. We've got Jack, so I feel like that would be kind of unfair in that regard to not let Jack play because Jack's been pretty good. Pitching, no. Hitting, though, honestly, very, very good. 184 hits this year, 33 home runs, 49 last season in the 162 games. Not as great of a pitcher, but he's a 98 overall, so we'll give it to him on that. But yeah, so it really hasn't been that successful, which is funny because I think, like, if I were to go look at some of the past seasons, and I can't look at it this way, but if I were to look at some of the past seasons, and actually let's go to the main guy I'm thinking of, the guy that I ended up having to trade away just simply because we didn't have any money, and that was of course Gunnar Henderson. I don't remember where I traded him to though. Was it Seattle, I think? Yeah, right there he is. He's 75. Good thing I traded him away. But I mean, he's been phenomenal. He's over 500 home runs and had 4 MVPs in that time. This is probably the main reason Bobby hasn't had that much of a shot. Gunnar has kind of been in his way at his own position. And then the other guy who's been phenomenal at the same time has been Soto, who is, okay, he's still here, who has basically all the rest of the MVPs. In this time, if you think about it, since we started the simulation in the 13 seasons, or pretty much 11 years, if you think about the ones that have already started for him, in the 11 years that we have simulated, the AL MVP has gone to Juan Soto and Gunnar Henderson 9 times. So how is Bobby ever going to get a shot? It's been a stacked AL, really. So, you know, I don't think it's been a fantastic, career. He did get his one World Series, but we're just going to kind of see what we can do and see if he can put something together for the rest of his career. Man, Juan Soto's numbers are kind of crazy, though. I don't know how much more he's got in the tank, but, I think we're going to try to give him the Salvi experience we did at the end, just trying to get Salvi his last championship, that second World Series. And I think we're going to try to do the same thing here with Bobby. He's still putting up a good season here. 27 home runs. Man, if he could get 16 stolen bases, one more year, maybe get him to the 400 club, potentially. I don't know. It'll be a little bit tough to see. At least I still believe he's a positive WAR player. As soon as that number crosses around, less than 1, that's when he'll be done, because I don't think I can afford. I feel like that's a more fair assessment, is that's when a guy you're like, yeah, no, I'm not going to let you play anymore. We could just go DH, I think, to try to get these numbers. But I still have Jack, so I don't think I can do that. We'll see if we can make one more run, though. I'd say that equates to one more run. We got him against Pittsburgh. Kansas City versus Pittsburgh for the 2035 World Series. Kind of lucky. I guess a nice sweep against Texas will do that for you. But I guess we'll see what we got here. Jack Caglianone, Larry Starr, Bernie Norman, still, the GOAT, Bernie. See what we can do. Can Jack get us game 1? We do. 11-2 victory. Take that look at that box score there. Hey, Bobby got a homer. All right, game 2, Starr versus Greg Smith. It's a 4-5 loss. Game 3, Norman versus Tiedemann. Ooh, Bernie loses that one. Driver versus Chavez in game 4. No, we are down 3-1. Okay. We're gonna ride it out. No dice. One more shot. One more shot, Bobby. We'll give you one more shot. Well, he got to it. 400, 400, 478, 401 stolen bases. But yeah, this is the end of Bobby Witt. -8 WAR in this last season. He was not very good. So that'll be the end of his career for regular season play. And sadly, I've tied the Royals to a terrible contract for the rest of this time. So the question is, can we get him a World Series in this final season after losing last year? 102-60. Will it be enough? It will not. That'll be the end. I would say that is it for Bobby Witt. We'll go take a look quick at some of the other guys. I don't want to show some of their careers. Jack was actually the runner-up in the MVP this year. As he goes into his age 33 season. WAR is hard for two-way players. It looks like he has 19 WAR pitching, and as a hitter in the DH spot, he has 31. So that's a 50 WAR career so far for him, as he was the runner-up in the MVP, but got a Silver Slugger, playoff MVP last season. This is his 4th All-Star. So, great season for Jack. Just, a little, not enough, I guess, for it. Other players, Rufus Graham was a guy that we drafted. He is not really anything yet, nothing crazy special, but is going to be the perfect replacement for Bobby Witt in the upcoming years. I think when it comes to pitching is the only other player that I would say that is pretty interesting that we've had. That's Bernie Norman, who has been super consistent, sitting at around 88 to 89 overall, basically since we brought him up in 2026, just dominant. He won the Cy Young in 2034, only 2 All-Star appearances, but he's just been really, really consistent. Really had one bad year here in 2035, but you look at his WAR, he's always up there, 5.33. He's been a great pitcher this entire time. So, this is the type of guy that you want to have, and this is why he's been my most reliable guy every year when we go to the playoffs. Whereas I see a Hendricks Driver, not necessarily the greatest. Chester Ryder, a guy we drafted. He's been pretty good, but it's already a little bit late for him. I traded away a lot of other guys. Tate Hatfield's been a really good closer. He's at 271 saves at age 28. Yeah, to be honest, the big ones were some of the guys that we let go. Michael Garcia never really ended up being much because he played platoon at second base for pretty much his whole career. I want to say that Vinny Pasquantino ended with about 250 home runs, but he lost his spot pretty quickly. Just wasn't very consistent at the end. The one I want to look at, though, quick. Soto, 72 overall. I think he's gonna get that home run record. Soto has been so dominant this entire that's crazy. And he's just kind of built a roadblock for us for a lot of the time, just being in our way. The AL was stacked this rebuild, so Sadly, we weren't able to get more. But I'd say, like, if you look at this team and what we did with it, we kind of won with an underdog squad pretty early, and that fit the Kansas City mold as well. I'll just send the rest of the postseason here. And the Tigers defeat the Nationals in the World Series in 2036. But we did what we could. There's Jordan Walker. Hey, my mistake earlier. You know, we did what we could. We really did try to put together a stacked roster, and it never ended up working out. 100 wins just about every year. We drafted really, really well in the pitching staff, and I mean, that kind of put us in a really good position. We've had some absolute studs the entire time, in different positions on offense as well, and you know, guys that never even really got to get their shot because we stacked this team so much. Alex Ramirez is 32. Didn't really even get to play much. But some other guys, BJ MacArthur still hasn't come up yet. Was an absolute stud that we drafted. We talked, you know, we had Fishman was a high pick. We had Rudy was a high pick. We had Cabrera was a high pick. These guys never even really got their shot to play because this team was so stacked. And I wonder if in not swinging for the fences by trying to build this super like rock star team around Bobby, if we would have been in a better position than we ended up in. But hey, I think we put together a great team. I think this was a great success. And the only thing I don't like is that this took me way too long to record. I apologize for everybody who, you know, is watching and all this stuff. I started recording this in August. Yes. August. It is not August. It is November. I don't even know when I'm going to finish editing it. You might not see it till December. I'll be honest. This is taking me too long. So, for future rebuilds, I do want to say, I want to thank everybody who actually is going to watch this and stick around. I don't know if this is only going to get 100 views or whatever. If it does, I'm still happy with that. But I do apologize for falling off the map a little bit with all my videos, and this has been something pretty consistently for me after the summer has ended, that I have not been able to push out content as fast as I would like to. So I just want to thank everybody for supporting. I know the content has been way different on here. I'm just kind of trying to do what I want to have fun with, what I have the time to do. Now that I work a lot more often, I just don't have as much time to edit, and so I pretty much just want to put together the things that I want to do for my friends, and that's kind of why you've seen content switch a little bit lately. But it's not that MLB The Show is going away completely. I need a different strategy here. I need to do something different because this worked really well when I had a lot of time, and as soon as that time shriveled up, I did not have the time to make this as much as I would have liked to. I mean, these take a lot of time to try to go in and finick and mess with the rosters every single game and change lineups every game, to do these sims to try to go this many seasons. Yeah. But you know what? I'm glad that we at least had hopefully something interesting for you guys. There will be more. I know there will be more. You won't have to wait 4 months for another one. I promise that. But there will be more. And if it's a long wait, I apologize. But I'll keep making content for you guys. So, thank you very much for watching. I don't know what we're gonna do next, to be honest. And I don't want to tie myself up. I don't want to make any promises because I don't know how long it's going to take me to edit a video. So I don't want you to get your expectations up on anything, because this does just take me too much time. So I got to stop making excuses and make more content. Thank you. And everybody, you have a great day. Adios.